All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Yo, what's going on, Ron? All right. It looks like everything's good. Cool. There you go. All right. What's going on, everybody? This is Art of IBMOR, and I am doing a live stream discussion on predatory women and black boys in our community. I got Art Install up here. What's going on, Art Install?
What's going on, fam?
Doing good. How you doing today?
I'm doing the same thing I did last time when you had your live up. Doing my little drive, having a real life compared to other that's sitting around home doing nothing,
Okay.
bothering people.
I hear that, man. But yeah, decided to do a lot today on this channel before the Saturday stream. Just talk about what was going on with the Dr. Curry conversation you had with Tia Stone Johnson.
Right.
And about these predatory women that's in our communities that don't get talked about. Especially these little girls that's preying on these boys' hormones. And they're abusing these children. Because we all know there's that one lady in the neighborhood that your mama told you not to go around. You know, because she was a little bit too flirtatious. Or that one little girl that your mother told you to don't be sniffing around her. You know what I mean? Because I know my mom told me about a couple girls in my neighborhood. And like I said, in my neighborhood, everybody was fucking each other.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's I'm trying to. Yeah, we had some. Everybody had that in their neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's crazy though, man? When they bring that stuff up in high school, you kind of like make sure you get yourself, especially if you didn't have much when you were younger. Like yeah, home chick did this and behind the bleachers did this. Would be like, oh yeah. You start looking like, trying to position yourself that maybe you get a taste too.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, like I said the other time, the school dugout was a popular place in high school.
Yeah, and like some of these, like you said, some of these girls, that was their way to, show that she can be noticed, that kind of thing. I remember, one chick that I went to high school with. She was bragging to everybody that she gave Easy-E fellatio. And I'm sitting there, even back then, I'm like, what's the end game to that? We supposed to give you like a dap or something, or congratulations?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, it seems to me that what we're doing right now is we're putting what men do out at the forefront, these predatory men, right? But when it comes to women and their dealings with our children, because I just seen a video online that my cousin shared where this woman was tongue kissing her daughter, her little infant daughter.
Yeah, what's up, y'all?
What's going on there?
Yeah, so, I'm gonna be on for like not even a couple of minutes. So, but yeah.
Yeah, so I just saw that and I was just like, wow, y'all really putting this out there? Like she was literally tongue kissing her baby daughter. And I'm just like, what are you doing?
I mean, with the white women too, because this is an American issue as well. I mean, obviously black female fucker because we're black, but you see how many times you see these fucking teachers, these white teachers getting caught up with these boys, and they never talk about the race of the boy either. They always leave that out because they want to say they're protecting like the identity, but they never even give any kind of description. I promise you, a lot of them fucking either black and Latin boys because there's consequences to fucking white boys to that extent by white parents because that would be seen as white on white shit. But years ago, like in 2016, you know, when the fucking reality show bitches would be taking damn near naked pictures, like these stock pictures. Remember those where they be covering their breasts and they be in their
Yeah,
drawers, oiled up? Like it was one chick that, like every year she took a picture like that, and she has like 4 kids, and she made her kids be in the fucking picture. You can see the looks on their faces, like the fuck.
you talking about that dark skinned chick?
I forget, but
They,
it's fuckery to go around. And I'm not saying that to take anything off of it, but women are more vulnerable to other women, even when it comes to violence, because the society doesn't collapse on that shit like it collapses on. It's kind of like black on black crime. You don't really talk about it until it's politically expedient to bring it up. But so when women are beating up other women or setting other women up to get raped, because that's another thing that happens where a lot of times you'll have these females that are younger that will set up, you know, fucks that they fucking with to get raped. That shit happens a lot too. And
yeah,
they
DJ
want to
Package.
see that person as a victim.
Yeah, the woman that was on the DJ Package in South Carolina, she was on a reality TV show, and she helped him
Yeah.
recruit girls.
Yeah, so that and even with the R. Kelly situation, they don't talk about how mothers set their daughters up. They don't talk about if you go to Yvonne Van Zandt, Fix My Life. These women will talk about, they'll start pouring out emotionally and talking about how the mother let these dudes in the house and then didn't believe them. Most of the folks that don't be believing women be other women. So it's not seen. So, and then after the fact, they want to make it a political football. And then you notice how they pick and choose which men get to get in trouble with that. So they have a lot of accountability there. And that's why when women talk about rape and molestation, I roll my eyes because I'm like, you ain't really want to talk about it. You just want to turn into some, you know, football. What did Dr. Tommy Curry said? He said racism. He said misandric anger is the new racism.
Well, I wanted to talk most because we always hear about this side where it comes to men and or with the girls. I just want to talk about as far as what the boys are dealing with, because as Curry said, you got a lot of these boys that's getting molested and raped at the same rate as these girls, and no one talks about it.
Yeah, the Antoine Fisher principle. And I'll say this because I'll probably hop off in a couple minutes, but I'll say this too. To speak specifically on the boys, you can see it in how black men unusually Ado's black men unusually like to fuck older women. It's an issue that's much bigger in our community than the other communities. You can see this in celebrities. You can see this in the real world. I've seen dudes that have like 3 or 4 baby mamas, and all their baby mamas are like 5 and 6 years older than them, and they got them when they were young and dumb. When that fucking testosterone is flowing heavy, like between 16 and 23. Really 25, but we'll say 23, you ain't even got any kind of wisdom under you, and you're just operating on testosterone. And older women, especially bitches they're in their early 30s, they like to prey upon those dudes, and they just don't do that. They'll try to have Africans if Africans are dumb enough to fall for it, and so a lot of times they are if they're younger. So yeah, it's predatory like a motherfucker, man. That matriarchal sperm donor bank is serious.
Don't forget D'Angelo and what's that chick name? Stone or something, like Angie Stone.
Angie Stone.
I think she had him by like almost 20 years.
Look at Keisha Cole.
And Chili
she
from
got her nigga about 20 years.
Chili
and got a baby out of 21.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And Chili from TLC.
With fucking Monica.
Yep.
With Shannon Brown. Shannon Brown was just old enough to he was old enough where that didn't work out because he could kind of keep her at bay. They do that. And that's how when people tell me the gynocracy doesn't exist, I'm like, okay, then show me that shit anywhere else. Oh, well, we have a unique history. No fucking duh. But the difference is y'all want to call that unique history slavery. I want to say one of the outputs of that is the gynocracy. So they want to pick and choose how we're unique. And a lot of dudes co-sign that shit with that, oh, well, you getting pussy, so it don't count. Like, I'm not going to bring up certain people's names, but it'll be one nigga, the very nigga that always want to bring up the peta term is the very nigga that want to talk about, oh, well, you just getting pussy, man. You just getting broken off some.
Well, see, that's another issue too, because I don't know if you remember, I think, was it Vlad TV? I think it was Vlad TV when they had what's that comedian's name from Chicago, the light skinned dude?
Shit.
D-Ray.
Yeah, D-Ray Davis. There was a Vlad TV program that he was on where he talked about him being raped by two of his mom's friends, and Vlad just laughed in his face. And he talking about he got raped by two women at the age of 8.
Yeah, and even Vlad's response, Vlad would have never, and what D-Ray should have said was say, okay, Vlad, I got a question for you. So what age, this is how she should have got him, because it's easy to do the female thing. We're going to keep it on boys, because that's the rules you set, right? Yeah. Vlad should have said, or D-Ray should have said, I got a question for you, Vlad. At what age would that not be funny? Because I told you 8, so 6, 5. At what age at putting my face on a bitch's pussy is it funny? You tell me. Oh well, no, don't dodge because you laugh. You laugh, and it's 8. So 7, 6, 5, 4. Question: what, you're Eastern European? At what age would that shit not be funny?
Yeah,
and then he would have got mad. It wouldn't have got aired if he would have asked that shit.
Yeah, because when we talk about men or these boys getting sexually abused by these women, it's always rubbed off like, oh, it's okay.
And I gotta jump off with this, but they say that like all pussy is good pussy. They say that like all these, it wouldn't matter no matter how good the bitch look, but half the time it be these fat bitches. When it's that young, it be these fat big catty bitches be pulling that shit.
And check out them teachers in Florida, man.
That.
What you say, Art?
I said check out them teachers in Florida.
If y'all still on in like 2 hours, I'll be back. But peace out.
All right, peace.
Yeah.
All right, what would you say, Art?
Like them teachers in Florida, man. The prime target is middle school boys.
Yeah, it is.
Middle school boys.
No, it's real heavy in Florida. It's real heavy in Florida. I've seen too many cases in Florida. And I think Florida's age of consent law is like 18. So I was like, damn. Because I think I saw one story where a woman was giving one of her students fellatio on the highway, and the cops put up behind her and arrested her because the boy told on her. What's going on, Fitness Mom? What's up, King? Yeah, Shaka Khan did it too. That's what BGS was saying, that Shaka Khan used to pick up boys to give her head and then kick them out.
Damn.
Or picked up men who wanted to.
Yeah, somebody told me watch out when I was when I gave Shaka that drawing. They said, watch out, man.
Oh, they did?
I was like, what? Yeah. Yeah. I was like, I got this, man. I'm old enough.
Boy, oh boy.
That was 2001 though, so she was way up there, and I was pretty old. I mean, I was old enough not to mess around, but just to watch myself.
Right.
But yeah, the overall thing is a power dynamic.
Yeah,
it's all about power, and people are not really addressing it. And you're looking at, from their small, and then also you're looking at it in these like little relationships. Like, remember Stella got the groove back?
Yeah.
It's power dynamic. Everything is about power. I'm not sure if maybe BGS can answer us that if Stedman is much younger than Oprah.
That I don't know. What's up, Kendra? How you doing, man? If y'all want to get in, the link's in the chat. If y'all want to get in, cause we're just talking about predatory women on these black boys. So, Kendra, you're more than welcome to come in, and Fitness Mom, you're more than welcome to come in.
And it goes to the daughters of the trade dynamic as well. Owning slaves, black females. Yeah, ownership, power, control, narrating people's life, things like that. And yeah, we don't hear this spoken enough, but we're always talking about predatory brothers.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I mean, if I had time, if I'd have to work that night, I would have made this live then. But since I'm off today, that's why I wanted to do it. What's good, Albert? Just because I know they're out there. I know what was going on in my neighborhood. I know what was going on in school with some of these teachers, with some of these women, but they don't get brought up. It's always the men, like it's the men's fault. Or if he is getting pussy at a young age, they just write it off like, oh, that's what he's supposed to do. Like getting pussy from an older woman is the same. It's not the same equivalent as a woman asking a D from a guy. You know what I'm saying?
And you have to ask I had an older woman myself too. I don't know if people remember that story I told. BGS cracked up when I said this. Because home chick wasn't honest, because she looked young, but she was old, to me.
Right.
When I was in my teens. I'm sitting there. I had to be like 18 years old. And, I hooked up with this chick. She was in the acting, or actually in the theater department in college. And I was in animation.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me she was 23. So when I pretty much got, we hooked up and everything, and I sealed the deal, I was excited. Like, yeah, I got me an older chick, 23. They got, you're in college, you're all happy.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, man, she's a triplet. It's three of them. And so one of the triplets is kind of slow. And I saw her driver's license, and it said she was born in 1950 something.
Mm.
And I said, what's up with this fake ID? She snatched it out of my hands. There ain't no fake ID. You know how you look into the camera like, what the fuck? And so, man, I sat in the car with her, and I had to I just had to like ask her. I was like, half the time I don't be really asking, are you 30, something. I just said, okay, well, I said, can you tell me how old you really are? She said, I'm 23. I said, are you sure? Yeah, why you keep asking? I'm 23, And I said, I saw your sister's driver's license. So how old are you? And she said, I think it took a lot of wind off. She said, 33. Now I'm 18. She's 33. Now some guys would say, man, that's still good. But when you're 18 though, and you're not expecting it,
yeah,
it's like a shock.
And see,
so I'm looking at the veins in the hands, and I'm looking at the wrinkles, and I'm a Leo. That's probably what it is. I'm looking at all that. I'm like, damn, what did I hook up with? So it went downhill because I kept thinking old.
Right.
And we've been together for almost a year. So this is what we run into. So we got this stuff in the manosphere right now.
Kruger, huh?
Yeah, I guess you got this stuff in the manosphere with the we got some of these older chicks going after these younger brothers too.
Hey, we all have a Kruger booty call that talk to us.
Yeah,
but I think the difference is some of these guys need their fantasies filled. because they never got any.
Well, to
That's
some.
why.
No, go ahead, Albert.
That's why. When that's one of the reasons why when I can't think of the show now. They call Real Life Housewives of whatever came out. I saw some of the women in their 40s. I'm like, damn, I could get. I've talked to women in that age bracket, and I wouldn't even think about talking to them heifers on that show.
Well,
Yeah, it's a different breed now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, more women are more outwitted as far as them dating younger guys because that's what they want. And you got to ask yourself the question, how young are they willing to go?
But you know what? I'm glad I watched that show though, because I saw something on there that made me think twice about women over 40. When I saw Kenya Moore with that training baby, I don't know if people probably forget about this episode. This happened years ago. She was, I kid you not, she was using a training baby like she was still a teenager. I'm like, what the fuck?
Now, kind of think about, okay,
Yeah,
we remember my panel, we were talking about the girls being sought after this whole age consent goes down. All these different, what do you call these people, pansexuals or pedophiles? Well, I don't even know what names they want to be called, whatever it is.
mm-hmm.
They come out the woodwork. But on this topic right now today, what do you think the percentages are for these older chicks to be going after these younger dudes after they lower the age of consent? How
Shit. Oh
how
man,
far are they gonna go on this one?
Yeah, it's gonna happen because you're gonna have
it's gonna skyrocket.
You got some of these lonely women that's gonna start going after these teenagers.
And all they gotta do
it's
is
gonna
buy a
happen, no doubt.
PlayStation and some games and some ice cream, pizza,
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
some oatmeal.
Ice cream, pizza, and just bend over the couch.
pretty much.
Like, here you go.
What's good, Artisan?
Yeah, we got the 3 heartbeats again. Okay.
Y'all
What's good, Artisan?
What's happening?
Sure. We're talking about predatory women and black boys.
Oh, so you were talking about
my ex-girlfriend. No, oh man, she got to be 60 something by now. I can't believe it, dude.
Yeah, she's got to be 60. My dad was born in the 50s, and he's 60. So.
Oh
yeah.
Man.
But go ahead, Artisan.
Oh no, I saw you guys were up here. I just wanted to complete the set. It was like one less A up there. So what's up, everybody? But predatory women and black boys. This is basically the root of what I was teaching my son from the age he was 5, which was to protect himself, which was when he grew up and started having sex shoes and condoms. And the other thing was to watch out for women about the time he's 15 through 21, trying to pitch their busted cart to him because he would be the one going somewhere and they'd be looking to come up off of him, off of his labors. So to watch yourself for that, because I fell prey to it when I was his age and nobody was telling me. They just let me go through it. So I don't want that for my son. So I made sure to tell him not to do those things, to hold off. And it worked for a while, but that gynocratic programming kicked in about the time he really started getting away from people, that there were some hooks put into him to bring him back to the fold so he wouldn't be gone for good. And he was almost gone, almost had him gone for good. And he got pulled back in just like the Godfather. So
yeah, Christopher Daly said Jamaican women were doing it in the 90s to poor Jamaican boys from the ghettos, buying their silence with material things.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest.
No, go ahead, Albert, then Artisan.
Okay. One of the biggest lies ever told to my generation was that peer pressure always came from the guys. I found out real quick specifically when I got to high school that was bullshit.
Yeah, the girls will peer pressure you too to have sex.
That was complete. Yeah, that was complete bullshit. I got more pressure from the girls than I ever got from the guys.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Artisan.
Go ahead, Artisan.
Well, no, I'm just listening. That was true. I mean, for me, my homeboys, we pressured each other about certain things. That wasn't really one of them. The other one was from chicks, and maybe the chicks that you wanted, they wanted you to be in a certain thing. So I'd say it was more social pressure, not specifically from my homeboys, not specifically from the chicks, but just the environment in which you was. I came up in the 80s and the 90s, and that's single mother, ground zero in a sense. And it was out there. You had to be doing certain things, or you just. So I got into a lot of things really early, part of my disposition, than most people. But that's why I'm done already.
All right. Go ahead, Art Newstall.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, how. Think about the whole Cosby thing. I'm gonna do the LAR angle.
All right.
You know how the Cosby thing came out where I got all these underage girls in the past came out and it pretty much put them under the jail. What are the chances of some older chick, like an Oprah, was messing around with little young boys, and they got old enough to where it's like maybe 50 or 60 of them said Oprah molested me when I was younger. What are the chances of her going to jail or people taking it seriously?
She's making too much money from Chicago. Now, Shaka Khan might go to jail.
Well, see, that's the thing, though, because the boys are not really saying too much just because they know that, they're not going to be believed. Because you gotta look at black male masculinity is being attacked right now, saying that we're deviants. And so when you got black boys that's like 15 or 14 coming out and saying that, hey, when I was 14 or 15, these women abused me. Most people going to write it off as like, oh, you just wanted to have sex anyway.
Yeah.
And when they're testifying, I'm quite sure they're fully framed, mustache, beard, probably some of them got muscles. So they're looking at those optics.
Yeah, black men do not have the same. What's the word I'm looking for? The same social outlook, I guess, when it comes to these allegations. Like, you're never gonna see a whole bunch of guys coming up and say this woman abused me, because society looks at women as the weaker sex.
Yep, perpetual victims. Yeah. That goes to Tommy J. Curry's whole point, right? You're not even a man, but you can't. But like Dr. Tierson says, you can't even be a victim either.
Nope.
So it's just totally passed over, like, oh, that couldn't possibly happen. Oh, damn these crack dealing Girl Scouts.
Take them damn $6 cookies, $6 box cookies to keep to yourself.
I need to pull a Jesus and go out there and kick their table over because now I want some cookies. I'm sorry.
Expensive ass cookies.
Yeah.
Thank God for Keebler. No, I'm just messing with y'all.
But nah, I mean, that's the conundrum that especially black men are concerned, because we look at society as hyper masculine.
Yeah.
Hypersexualized.
Well, the thing
I'm
is,
sure I'll find a black man next week to cover up for Harvey Weinstein.
I hope the hell not.
Oh, he's walking. That fool walking.
It don't matter.
Oh, you think so?
Oh yeah.
Nah, he's gonna be he's gonna serve his sentence in his house. Probably he's gonna get house arrest.
Yeah, that should.
Yeah, like Bernie Madoff.
Mm-hmm.
He just taking. I think he's one of those guys just taking one for the team.
Probably
because he equals probably about 10 other black men. We got these 10 black men. We already got a white dude, so you can't say we're racist. That kind of thing.
Bullshit.
So they're gonna use him, as the poster child. And they named a lot of these dudes. Didn't they name what? Ralph Macchio? No, not Ralph Macchio. The Charles in Charge dude. Scott Baio, Kevin Spacey. What's the other dude's name? Dustin Hoffman. All these guys,
Mhm.
man. Only
Yeah, but
only
you,
only handcuff they have is a Gucci bracelet or something
they ain't even getting
Wow.
that I can't
dragged
afford.
from the public as quick.
Yeah. Christopher Dennis said Rob Lowe.
Yeah, Roblin. He was a long time ago, and he's still doing movies. He was on video. I don't know if y'all old enough to remember that.
On video, abusing
He
a
I
he
girl.
am.
was on. Yeah, with an underage teenager.
Hmm.
Who was that Ray Don John said she was messing with? I forget. It was one of the Rolling Stones.
The one that
Mick
That
bought.
was
Jagger.
Mick Jagger.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
Mick
one.
Jagger.
Didn't he like get that girl from Hawaii or something when she was young and got custody over her? And then when she turned 18, he got rid of her.
I'm not sure.
I don't know, but Ray Don John, the actor,
He loved them
said
some melanated women.
she was messing with him when she was 15.
Oh yeah, I think that was Mick Jagger and Ray Dawn Shaw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
she came out and said
Cheech and
that she was
Chong's.
messing.
That's Cheech and Chong's daughter.
Hmm.
That's Leo
Yeah,
from that '70s show.
yeah, Tommy Chong's daughter. But what was she doing out there trying to mess with a grown ass man anyway? He was already old by the time she was 15.
And she said she was ambitious and she knew what she wanted
Yeah,
because she was
ambitious
trying to
in the wrong way.
throw a curve, well, not a curve, yeah, a curveball to the Me Too movie.
She was trying to jumpstart her career.
But
But
as far as going on the topic, how many women did your parents told you to keep away from when y'all were younger?
all of them,
Yeah. My mother,
except my dad. My dad liked all of them, but my mom didn't like any of them.
yeah. Pop wasn't there.
She
Mom
preferred to
was.
pick the girl.
Yeah, my mother didn't want me with anybody necessarily. She was trying to keep me sheltered. She didn't even like them calling the house. She had custom chicks out calling my house.
Man, my women were too fat and too dark, too ghetto, too stuck up. I mean, it was never anything perfect.
Are you sure
But
about that one time?
she was right about my ex-wife. I give her that.
And trying to
My mother was
besmirch,
pretty.
but no, I'm just saying I'm not trying to besmirch, but even a broken clock is right twice a day. Just saying.
But
Yeah.
I think I don't
My
know.
mother was pretty lenient.
And I probably have to ask the mothers.
Albert,
Yeah.
hold on. All right. Albert and then Art Nusal. Go ahead,
My
Albert.
mother was okay. My mother was pretty lenient, but I told her about this one track. She was like, and she's not a person that cuss, but she looked at me like, "Oh hell no, you ain't doing that." I was like, "Okay." I wasn't trying to mess with this track after. Anyway, after some dumb shit she did, but I told her about it. She was like, "Oh hell no, you're not doing that. That's not gonna fly."
Right.
But even when I was messing with older women, she was like, "Okay, whatever." She's like, "Okay, whatever. If that's what you want to deal with."
Like during your teenage years?
No. This is when I was
No, that's what I'm talking about. In your teenage years, where
in my teenage years.
where there's certain women that your mother told you not to be around, or girls.
A few.
Did she give you a reason?
Yeah, they're usually fast. If they were fast or something like that, yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Art Nustal.
I'm thinking I should have asked because I had some solid sisters on my panel yesterday. I should have asked them, do they prefer to choose their mate for their boys? Do mothers these days really where they say, hey, I know this girl is the right one for you. Y'all should be happy together.
Fetish mom says hell
Or
no.
Oh wow.
so she prefer for her son to choose the mate and bring her so she can you know, would it do that Terminator scan? You know, 5'6", you know, black, green eyes, bad credit, you know, that kind of thing. Raunchy.
Right. No, there was a couple of females that my mom told me not to be around because the one chick that she thought I would be good with, when she got pregnant, she said, I wanted you to get with her, but now, hell no, stay away from that one.
Most of the chicks I grew up with got pregnant after the teenage years, so didn't really run into that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my mom preferred me to get women that had their own money or business. That was her thing. Make sure she has a house or her own money or business. So she was thinking probably legacy or merging, you know, merging capital and stuff like that. But me,
Okay.
I just couldn't see it. You know, I just couldn't see dating Condoleezza Rice. You know that whole 92 or what have you.
Fitness mom said I would prefer my son be able to pick his own wife.
Okay.
Yeah, because he has to pick the wife that's good for him. It's not up to her to, I guess, to get in between that, him and his wife. I mean, he's the man. He has to pick his own wife because the wife that he picks has to be conducive to what he needs as an individual.
So in the name of this topic, how old? I mean, for these ladies out there, and I guess the brothers too, how old should a woman be in order for her to be wifed up as far as her being older than you?
Artisan Albert.
How
For
far
me,
would you go?
For me, I'm pretty strict on the age. I wouldn't go more than maybe 3 back. And nowadays, I wouldn't say nobody older than you. In that sense, no more than a year older than you and 5 years back from your age. As far as my kids, I don't want them to be married until they're like 30, 35. That's when they should be having kids and getting married. So son broke that, but we'll see what my daughter does. But that's just me. That's a good round number, and it gives them enough time to actually establish themselves career wise, get themselves settled. If they're going to buy a house, if they're going to travel, if they're going to do all that young stuff they're supposed to be doing with that age of their life, get that done, and then start settling down, building your nest, and having your family. I don't want them to do it early. I'm trying to push that cyclical dysfunction out as far as I can, to where it's like the next generation, my granddaughter's generation, will probably do it absolutely correctly and not, young as hell before they can even get out of high school.
As well, I know it's kind of biased, but as far as guys, particularly my age bracket, because I'm 37, I won't even look at a chick that's under 20. But it goes far. You can date somebody. I might consider dating somebody with close to my age bracket, like within 2 or 3 years. But older, maybe back in my 20s, something may have worked out. But now that I'm in my 30s, I can't see myself marrying anybody older than me right now. Maybe for a booty call. Yeah, maybe for a booty call, but marriage, I don't think so.
I say with me, I can't see myself dating anyone younger than 25.
Okay.
And just because, I know how immature some of the young cats are, the young women are.
Yeah, that's
And,
why. That's
and
why. That's why I have a 20 age limit. You got to be a certain age, have a certain maturity before I even think about messing with you.
yeah, so I'm looking at it like as far as an older chick, I'm just like, I don't know.
I can do older. Me personally, I can do older. I prefer a little bit older, but younger. I'm 46 now, so I'm not going below like 35. That's nah. What is
Okay.
that here? Cardi B.
So you couldn't go in the
Cardi B. Or,
50s? You wouldn't do
I
the
can do a
50s?
50. I can do a 50.
Mm.
Depends though. Depends on her mentality.
So you got
Because
10 good years.
yeah, I don't trip too much. I'm not looking for a mother, but I'm looking for somebody who's mature and an adult. I don't need no ridiculous stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need her bouncing to Nicki Minaj or nothing like that. I'm good.
Oh yeah, I hear you.
All right, we got Fitness Mom up here. What's going on, Fitness Mom?
Hey, Fitness Mom.
Hey, how you
We
doing?
brought her up.
Yeah,
What's
Good.
going on, Fitness Mom? It's a continuation from yesterday.
just on the boy side.
Well, when it comes to females or women or uh sorry about the dating, but when it comes to that, like a woman naturally wants a man who's more experienced than her in things in life. Like if she travels, she wants a man who's traveled to more places. If she has an education, she wants a man who has more of an education. Or, whatever a woman does, she wants a man who's done more than her because women want to learn. So that's why women do the whole thing with, I want a man that's at least what I have or better. Because a woman wants to feel like she can learn from the man she's with. That's why
Mm-hmm.
when woman gets older, it's harder for her to find a man adequately because a lot of times the men that she can learn from are not looking for that type of woman. So that's why that gets harder with age. But if a woman is the kind of woman that is predatory or is looking for younger, then she no longer wants to learn or she's not looking to learn from her man. At that point, she's looking to control. Just like there are some men who want younger women because they want to mold them to their program. Well, there are women that want to mold their men to their programs. So, I mean, at that point, she's sort of taking on more of a masculine frame. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
makes sense.
So she's predatory, just like the way a man would be predatory. So,
I've learned some of these younger ones. You can't tell them nothing, so I'd say you have to stay away from some of them. Even though you know more than them, they still act like they know more than you. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna leave you over there. You'll learn.
well, then that's when you're dealing with a woman that's built real strong in her ego.
Thank you. Speak on that, Fitness Mom.
You want me to talk about ego?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a whole argument with a woman before about talking about what I saw in today's women is that the problem with them is that they have way too much pseudo male ego. And that's what fucks them up a lot of times in these relationships because they're trying to outman a man and they're not equipped for that. So
I
it's
agree.
all this posturing and bullshit that just rubs actual men the wrong damn way, which will push them, not even have them being spoken to at all. Because a real man ain't gonna deal with that shit. He ain't got no time for that. Just
Well, the
flat out.
ego is your protector, men and women. Your ego is your protector. So, I mean, Oh, okay. So the ego is the protector, and like when you don't have confidence, because ego and confidence work hand in hand in a way. And if you don't have confidence, you can build up ego, and vice versa. As you build up confidence, your ego goes down. But your ego is the protector of you and your confidence. So, if someone is strong in ego, then they are weak in confidence. So then you gotta know what you want. Do you want a woman that's weak in confidence? Because if you want a woman that's weak in confidence, then what you can do if you see she's strong in ego, then you can help build up her confidence, and her ego will naturally go down because they work hand in hand and in tandem.
Well, let me ask you this, Fitness Mom. Do you think some of these predatory women that's going after these younger guys, especially in their teenage years, do you think they lack confidence or they lack self-esteem when they go after these young boys?
No, it is about power. Like a man doesn't, not a man or a person that rapes somebody doesn't rape them for sex. I mean, this is all power struggle. So some women need power, and they get power off of doing some things like being predatory towards young men. That's all about power. That doesn't even have to do with the ego. That has to do with all encompassing power, or to feel like you're the lord over something. And I don't know, is that really ego or not? I don't know, because I don't have power struggles, so I don't know where the need for power comes from. You have to talk to somebody that has a strong power need to see where that comes from, because I've never actually experienced it, or the need to be over or controlling of someone.
Right.
Right.
Because they
That
don't want
is
to be
true. It is a
controlled.
power struggle.
What? I didn't hear somebody say something.
No, he said that is a power struggle. Can you hear Albert?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
Now go ahead, Albert.
Yeah, I think she's onto something. It's a power struggle with some of these women. They want to hold power with somebody, and probably the best. They're not going to hold it over a strong older dude, so they find a younger dude to do it with.
Mm-hmm.
They start. That's easier to hold power over a young dude if you're a woman and you're looking to hold power. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
sex. That right there will have you the trump card over his whole life, especially if he's under 18.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
There was this woman in the news that was on trial for having her boyfriend kill himself. That right there, she wanted him to commit suicide and urged him to commit suicide because she was power. That's power struggles. You got to watch out for women who need power struggles like that, because some of them will go as far as that woman. And there's been a couple of women who've had men kill themselves because of the power struggle, that they wanted to feel like they were playing God. And that's all, that's all coming from masculine or masculine energy. So as men, you should be able to understand that form of power or need to control. But, you got to realize that some women go too far in that masculine force, and they need to just exert themselves over someone completely, physically, in some way. And that's why they become predatory. I never, I can't talk to it fully because of the fact that I have never felt that stuff. But I mean, as men, I know that y'all know how it feels to want power over something. So y'all can better understand that than anything I could.
Okay. No, you're right.
Yeah, I would say it's different for men and women. Women's power is different than a man's power in a situation, and their ego. A man's ego will be backed up by his confidence in what he is able to do, and what he has already proven to himself that he is able to do, and that will boost his ego a bit. Women's ego, when it's taken in that masculine area, it's not backed up by anything really, except for the environment telling her, well, you're better than this, or you're good at this. And that's where that false sense of male ego comes from in women. Because I would think as a woman, if you have an ego, that's one thing. Everybody has one, but it has to be backed up by something you do as a woman, not something you do pretending to be a man, but something you do as a woman. So is it backed up by your femininity? Is it backed up by the men who have been with you, who, revere you? Is it backed up by your children who say you were a good mother and go out into the world and actually produce? What is it? It has to be backed up by something, but it can't be backed up by the same thing that it is for a man, because you're not judged the same way. You're not interacting with the world the same way. So it's not the same scale. It's not the same type of ego, and it's not the same kind of power.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit, because this is something that is going on right now. What about predatory women in your own family? Where your aunts are going after your nephew.
You're trying to get into some shit today, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, this is the topic.
Yes, it is. So early, I didn't even finish my coffee yet.
You better drink it because it's gonna be a long day.
What was the question again?
Predatory aunts in your family going after their nephews.
You mean in church or no? I'm joking. Go ahead.
Could be in church. Who knows? I'm just
Could
saying.
be at church,
Moving
could be
on
at home.
up.
Could be the family reunion, and your aunt's like, "Oh, he's handsome," and starts rubbing on him too much.
Well, I
haven't
copped
seen
to
anything
this.
out here in California, but I'm quite
Shit, I've
sure
seen
it's going on.
I've seen that shit.
Yeah, it hasn't happened in my family, but I've heard it happen in other people's family where you had the aunt that
I had my
always.
friends try to get at my aunt though. She looked like Whitney Houston back then. So
Oh wow.
But did your aunt facilitate that?
I'm not sure if they went out or not. I forgot. I had to ask my cousin.
What was your friend of age?
Yeah, he was like, was he 20 at the time? 21? He was 20 or 21. Lewis. He was playing. He had the whole mixed boy magic thing going. So he had that confidence.
So he wanted a pretty boy.
Yeah, he used it, boy. He know how to use it back then. I don't know about now.
All right, Enigma Incorporated said, or a predatory sister like R. Kelly's sister. Which that whole situation, that was
oh boy,
the ass pinching auntie. Yeah, that one. You know, predatory women in your in family structures. You know, because I've heard that where you had the aunts always wanted to, were happy to have these nephews come over, and then once they come over, have a night.
Had that.
Yeah, they'll have the boy sneak into the bedroom and pleasure room, and then put them back in the living room sleeping. You know, some incest family type shit that was going on.
Yeah,
I believe it goes on, but I've never came across that.
It's kind of scary though.
It is. It makes you want to think like, damn, should I really allow my kids to go with my sister's house? Because she might be on some fuckery shit.
Well, see, that goes into the whole thing with the black family, how we have these overlapping people who we call family, uncles and aunties, and they're really just kind of blended families. Like, you know, somebody's mama was messing with somebody's daddy before, and that family comes on, you know, because they had a kid, and now that's your new uncle and that's your new auntie. And those people usually do have some kind of incestuous things going on with them kids from the other family, which I have seen, which is like, it's not funny, but it makes me giggle in a sense because it shows their dysfunction and how dysfunctional that shit is. But nobody ever speaks to it. It's just normalized, like, oh, well, this is just how things happen, and we'll just keep it quiet for another 30 years till somebody go crazy from it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. What about y'all? What about everybody else? Have y'all heard anything like that, where you had like predatory aunts in the family?
Not in my personal life, but I believe it happens. I couldn't speak for some of my friends, but I believe stuff like that happens.
Yeah, because you do have some people in their family. Because I never had it in my family, and then it wasn't until I got older that I heard stories about other people saying about their aunts and how they were like a little bit too friendly with the their nephews or maybe their nephews' friends. Always having young boys at their house and stuff.
Yeah, them parties.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys ever see that movie Fences?
Well,
not Fences, Good Fences. It's called Good Fences.
No, I haven't seen that.
With Whoopi Goldberg and Danny Glover.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Dang. There's a scene where her Whoopi Goldberg's son, you know, he was a young teenager, and he had a Japanese friend. And you know how back then a lot of us were allowed to sleep at each other's houses. His mom seduced this dude,
I believe it.
the Japanese mom.
Oh, I believe it.
I believe
Had
it.
the shirt open and everything. They showed. I'm like, whoa.
I've seen
Yeah,
it.
Christopher
I've seen
Christopher
that
Daly
personally.
says, not an aunt, but one of my aunt's friends. She smashed my cousin, his brother, and me all when we were teenage boys.
Damn.
Damn. Was she a super thought? That was before thoughts, wasn't it? Jesus.
Yeah, that thought got around.
And J.R. Andre said, my mom's side of the family was full of predators.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, JR. My brother's side of the family, that's Predator Central right there.
Now, Christopher Daly, was your mom, your aunt's friend, was she African American, white? I'm pretty maybe sure. Well, probably well, I think he's Jamaican, isn't he, Christopher? Well, what was her race, Christopher? If you can answer that. And I guess he's talking to you too. I mean, Arden says that movie is about Clarence Thomas.
Was it? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Good Fences. I didn't know that was about Clarence Thomas. Monique was in it. That's all. It was Monique, Danny Glover, and Whoopi Goldberg. The
Oh,
only two
wow.
I recognize.
I'll be right back, you guys.
All right. Christopher Daly says that woman was African American mixed with Asian, and she was smashing everybody that was young. That's crazy.
It happens.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing though. Like, we need to start bringing this to attention because some of these young boys are getting hit on by these older women because of power, like Fitness Mom said, and no one seems to be talking about it. No one, and it's like it's always been swept under the rug.
Mm-hmm.
So the question too then is, does this do anything with how they consider what is love and how they should love a woman when they start dating older women? Like, for example, because I don't know if you're thinking or don't understand the question.
No, go in a little bit more detail. I'm trying to figure out where.
So, for example, okay, I can use mine for me, for example. Even though I felt uncomfortable at the time after I found out that home chick was older, I still got used to the idea. So I was dating more older women. I was very comfortable. I had older women acting like little girls towards me, telling them, you know, you shouldn't be saying that. You need to watch your mouth. I'm saying that to women 5, 6, 7 years older than me. And any other younger chick or a woman my age for a while, they were too immature.
Yeah,
I didn't have no time for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm just
Got used to that
wondering.
Kruger, huh?
Well, the whole thing was I was very upscale. You know, I wear tie. You know, I wore ties to go to dinner and stuff like that. And older women they fit that for the most part. And,
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
going to jazz concerts and stuff like that. And when it came to these younger chicks, and this is when I was in my 20s.
Hold on. Christopher Daly and JR, can y'all come up? Because y'all are saying some really interesting things in the chat.
Are they fighting?
No, they're not fighting. They just what they have to say is conducive to this conversation. Christopher Daly says, I think she might smash my other cousin, the brother, and two that I mentioned above. And then he says she started to cover her tracks after I spoke out because she was very possessive of me and would show up at the house when I had girlfriends over. And JR says, not to go into detail, there were no men around and they either died or got forced out. And a lot of debauchery went down.
I have seen families like that. I can't confirm any abuse from the guys in that family, but I have seen female families like that where there's no man in sight.
And the women run amok.
Yes. Pretty much. My uncle was married to a chick like that. I kid you not. Between my uncle, my cousin, his son, and one other dude, those were the only men in that family. Everybody else split. My aunt-in-law's brother didn't even show up for his mother's funeral. That's how bad it was. It was ugly.
So basically, what you're saying is the part of the gynocracy is enforcing male authority out, so that women can have control or have a power dynamic over the family, and to do.
And that chick divorced my uncle, broke his heart. I think that's part of what killed him. But he did go MGTOW after she divorced him.
Yeah, Chris.
He had like 3 or 4 girlfriends when he passed away. He had pancreatic cancer, unfortunately.
Yeah, Christopher Daly and JR, if y'all can come up, hit the link and I'll bring y'all up for a quick second, because what you have to say goes along with this topic, if y'all can. But
yeah, my uncle was a BBW kind of guy too. He did a lot. He had a lot. Both his baby mamas were big chicks.
Well,
hey, it's business.
Hey, if he's a chubby chaser, some guys like big women. Obsidian, but anyway.
That was established yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Christopher Daly says he's in Norway. It's past 10. Okay, ain't no problem, man. It's just I just want to get your input because that's some crazy stuff. So
basically, you got these incels and guys that never even, the only breast that they saw was in a bucket of KFC or something. You got all these people that really never had anything. So would you say that this is like the easiest time for these women to do what they that we're talking about? Because there's a lot of these incels out there.
Well,
lots.
Well, they're the ones that's not.
You're talking about the women or the guys?
Women. Older women.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Well, they see the incel guys. See what these women are doing. They're going after these their physical sexual imprint. So let's say
football player.
Yeah, they're going after those football players, the guys that have those nice bodies, because that's their sexual physical imprint. And so most of those guys will get predatory advancements towards an older woman to them. And when those hormones are ranging at 14 and 15, it is what it is. All right, we got Christopher Daly up here. I know it's late, man. Go ahead and say what you need to say, because I know you need to go to bed. If you got your mic, you muted right now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Very low.
You kind of low though. Might be tired.
Yeah, man. It happened in Florida, man, and we didn't know, between my cousins and I, we didn't know that she was actually doing it until I spoke out and said, she became real possessive. Every time I had a girlfriend, like, she would call my younger cousin, and then if he said, "Oh, Chris is busy," she would drove all the way from Miramar all the way to Fort Lauderdale just to show up at my aunt's house. And then I found out that she did my cousin when he was younger, and then so she did his little brother, and they have a third brother. And I think after we spoke out, she became a little bit more secretive. but she was showing him attention. So chances are she probably did the same thing to him also. And nobody spoke about it. They just let her get away with it. You get older
Wow.
now and
Damn.
you start you start speaking out as black men like, man, we've been through some stuff and nobody listens or nobody
Mm-hmm.
cares what black men go
Hello?
through. So
You guys hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Just hold on for a second, JR.
All right.
But go ahead, Chris.
yeah, we kind of write it off like, like there's nothing, like, oh, it's nothing, or yeah, when I was young I was getting, you know, whatever from older women. But that's not the first time actually. As I got older, I remember when I was much younger, also my babysitter, she was 16 and I was 11 years old.
Mm.
And
Wow.
I used to brag about it when I was younger, but then when I got into my 30s and I started to say that was actually rape, that was abuse, like, and black men shouldn't brag about those stuff. But who are you gonna tell? Nobody's gonna listen to you. Tell your homeboys, they'll laugh and they'll
Mm-hmm.
give you daps. But as I got older and I have sons, I started to say those are predatory behaviors, but nobody sees black women as predator. It happens a lot in Jamaica. Like they'll talk about Jamaican men, older Jamaican men abusing younger girls, but they'll never talk about older Jamaican women who prey on young Jamaican boys.
Mm.
Damn. In
Yeah.
Jamaica? Wow.
I could believe it, man. I can believe it. JR, go ahead, man.
Yeah, man. It's funny because my family's Caribbean as well, right? We're from Guyana. So my mom's side of the family, there were no men around, right? And the only men that were there, excuse me, was my aunt's husband and my uncle, right?
Mm-hmm.
My aunt's husband, he was very abusive and shit, right? So whenever he would abuse her, all the women there that would get abused as well, right? By my uncle, well, yeah, um, my aunt's husband and my aunt, because she was the oldest. But then once they got divorced, I was around like 5 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It was my mother, her sisters, they would fight each other all the time and shit. It was just a lot of fucking savagery and shit, bro. And my uncle, I know they say not to speak ill of the dead or anything like that, but he was definitely a predator. I'm just gonna say that. But then my aunts as well, they used to just have a lot of shady men around, So it's pretty disgusting, to be honest with you. I have no contact with them to this day. So
Okay.
yeah, and then my grandmother, I looked at her real funny before she died. Once because I eventually moved with my dad. He was in the military and stuff like that. So I was very fortunate to live with him at a certain age, and it really gave me a view of my mom's side of the family. Man, they just I personally I think they fucked up. It's not just me, but all the kids are just messed up. So yeah. Some women from overseas can also live some real debaucherous fucking lives. Hello?
Yeah, we'll stay here. Listen, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're listening, man.
So yeah, I mean that's just what it is, man. Like yeah, I'm gonna hop off, continue listening to shit. But yeah, I just wanted to put my 2 cents in there with that.
I appreciate it.
Real. Yeah, it's real disgusting out here. But yeah, yeah, I'll hop off. Thank you.
I appreciate it, brother.
Yep.
No problem.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what I think it is? Oh, go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, I'm just saying because I know Christopher's got to go because I know he's late at night. Christopher, do you want to have anything to say before you hop off? Because I know it's late for you. Christopher, you there? Because we can't hear you. I guess he put himself on mute. Go ahead, Albert, and Albert and then New Stall.
You know, I think it goes back to something BGS said a while back ago that
Are you guys talking or
it's
just
westernized.
Waiting?
No, it's going to be Albert, then you, Art Install. I think Christopher is on mute or something, or he can't hear us. Well, go ahead, Albert. Go ahead.
I think it's this westernized culture that is causing this mess.
Mm-hmm. Art Install, you can't hear nobody? Art Install. Yeah, he's got probably got to drop in, drop back out. Well, go ahead, Albert. Sorry.
But this, this feminism and all this bullshit, all that bullshit.
Right.
I think it's what's causing this culture, even in the Caribbean, which is kind of surprising because they were always the rebels. At least the Jamaicans were.
Yeah, probably so. I mean, but you got to understand. You got to think about it. Was this a lot of their plans to make sure they have power over the family that way, so that way they can. Some of these women that are about their debauchery, since they're not calling it out to molest some of these boys that they're sexually attracted to fuck, because their whole mantra is go have your fun early, and then when you get older, that's when you need to settle down. I mean,
it's kind of backfiring because almost every other day I'm seeing a white teacher that's been arrested for messing with a boy.
Yeah, that is true. It's like almost every month.
Every month you see another white teacher that's got arrested. In fact, it's so prevalent now that some of them are trying to claim it's unconstitutional. I was like, are you serious?
Unconstitutional for what?
To arrest them for messing with a boy. This one chick tried to claim that. I was like, is it that prevalent? Good Lord. I was trying to make that up. You can look it up, but she tried to claim it's unconstitutional somehow that just for them to stop her from messing with a boy. I'm like,
Art Nostal, since you're a teacher.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. Can y'all hear him?
Yeah, we can hear him.
I can hear him.
All right. Albert.
Yeah,
go ahead, Chris. I know you got to leave because it's getting late for you. Go ahead.
I was going to say, the reason why these issues that I want to speak up more when I hear these kind of stuff now is that I'm here in Norway, right? And I think the princess of Norway had a black boyfriend. She has a black boyfriend, an American black boyfriend. And they regarded it as a national disgrace that she has a black boyfriend. I'm here watching local TV in Norway, and they're showing R.P.L. documentary. They're even going to show part 2 of the R.P.L. documentary. So I'm seeing this scary picture where they're trying to make black men like we're the face of sexual predation, and that shit worries me because I have 2 black sons, man. Nobody talks about funny things. You have Me Too, and nobody talks about Me Too for children. Like, what happened to these kids, including especially little black boys? You talk about Jamaica, it's rampant. Where these embassies where they have in New Kingston, whole bunch of these little boys get molested every time, and nobody speak up for those boys because homosexuality in Jamaica is shunned. So nobody's gonna come out and admit that they're being abused by these rich elites or politicians in Jamaica, and you see it here. Like people want to think that black men are just that all we think about is sex, or that every time you see a black man you have to worry about getting some kind of sexual violation, when most of the violations that happening to sick to little black boys doesn't get spoke about. Like nobody talks about it. Like it just
Mm-hmm.
gets thrown under the rug, like it doesn't happen, or like we're just predators. We're never victims, or black boys don't get abused, we do the abusing, and it's rampant in Jamaica, very rampant, and nobody will talk about it. They're scared to talk about it. The ladies I was telling you about, we call them, if you think I'm lying, ask a Jamaican about higglers. They like older women used to go abroad and buy merchandise wholesale, and then they come back to Jamaica and sell it. When I was a teenager, I left Jamaica when I was 12. When I was 10 years old, I had a lady that used to give me stuff in the arcades. She said, "Oh, come here, my little friend. What, my little friend? In cutie, look at him muscle up, I ball him play." And a whole bunch of dudes, a whole bunch of my friends had older women that used to give them stuff. Dudes that live in the slums. So I'm not lying. You ask any Jamaican.
I
But
believe it.
we just saw it as normal. We thought it was normal. Not until I came to America. It's like, man, them shits was pedophilia, man. Like you were messing with little boys, or if it's not pedophilia, what they call it, the hebephilia.
Yeah,
A whole bunch of it going on, but we just thought it was
Mm-hmm.
normal. Or because we were poor, we just accepted. It's like, yeah, I sleep with a big woman to get some money, or get clothes, or get sneakers. But it happens. But you won't hear Jamaicans talk about it. I guarantee you that. They'll never talk about it as something that's a sexual deviation. They'll tell you that Jamaican men are brutal, and because now in Jamaica, what's happening is that Jamaican men have started to kill Jamaican women. I don't know if you guys hear about it. Jamaica has the highest paternity fraud in the world. 7 out of 10 kids that are tested doesn't belong to the guy who's listed as the biological father.
damn.
Oh
So for the
shit.
past couple of years, for the past 2 years, I think Jamaican men have started to kill their spouses and then kill themselves in what they call it, suicide,
Murder, suicide.
domestic abuse, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh.
So it's
Oh man,
everywhere, but
that's
it's just that we're not connecting the dots, or because most, like I said, I listen to you guys like BGS, a whole bunch of guys on YouTube, and I was like, even when they tried to bring up this ADS stuff, I was like, the funny thing is, black people, we're going to have to solve these issues because they run parallel throughout every black society that exists throughout the world. These are the problems that affect us, that won't. You don't hear molestation going on in Europe, like in Norway and Sweden and these places, and they accept it, or it's swept under the rug. They'll do something about it. But when you hear about it in America with black boys, you hear it about it in Jamaica and black boys, nobody talks about these stuff. Like they don't care. Like, it's the usual. Like they want these stuff to happen to us. You look at Dwayne Wade's son. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say anything, but
Go
I
ahead.
mean, come on,
go ahead. Go ahead.
no father wants his son to be gay. It's just a genetic thing in a man. He wants to see his blood carry on. And when you're pushing,
Mm-hmm.
America is free. That's what I keep telling Europeans. I say, you know why I love America? America says anything you want to do, you can do it for yourself, or you can do it. Here you have free speech. There's certain stuff that you can't say in public, or even to your friend that you think is cool with you. There's certain topics here like politics, gender, and stuff. You get ostracized here for speaking about it. You can't say anything about it. Even if you know it's against your principle, you can't say anything about it. And you see this stuff, and I'm saying you have sexually explicit transgender dudes reading to kids in library and think it's okay. And it's like, why is it black? How much a percentage of black men makes up the total gender male population in America, but yet still we're the face of homosexuality? How many
Mm-hmm.
NFL, how many NBA white Hall of Famers sons are transgender? I can't find one, but I can find Magic and I can find Dwayne Wade.
They're probably hiding it. There might be a few.
Well, that's the
The-
thing. I was saying that before, that they're trying to use that as a prototype for inspiration. Because I was on another panel, and I was like, where is this where you see it the other way around? Where do you see it to where you see a whole bunch of females, uh, or actually, yeah, females trying to be boys,
I got
as far as the Hollywood agenda.
yeah.
You
Uh,
don't you
I'm
don't see it.
sorry. Go ahead. Because I was just
Yeah, I was just saying you don't see it as much as they try to push the whole agenda for black men trying to be women.
yeah. And I just pulled up this anime because he looked up what Christopher was saying, and he said he was right. He said I just looked it up. 7 out of 10 men are victims of paternity fraud in Nigeria. Is the second highest. 3 out of 10 are victims of paternity.
That's before
Whoa!
we even know what sex is, man. And then by the time we recognize what sex is, then we're seen as sexual predators. So we don't even get any gap or any chasm where we had sexual innocence. We've never been given or been able to live that kind of freedom where
Oh,
we
That's crazy. That's crazy.
yeah. I can tell you. I got sexually harassed by a chick a few months ago, and when I went to my family about it, I got accused of the opposite in a blink of an eye, like it never happened.
I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. Y'all gonna laugh, but sometimes I don't like the parent teacher nights because sometimes the parents be harassing too,
Oh wow,
Oh,
and I be
really?
trying to play it
flirting,
off and play dumb, but I'm like,
be flirting and shit.
oh man, I mean, shell shocking, man.
I believe it. Trust me.
Yeah, I believe it.
One of this, and I'm kind of looking at the student like, get your damn mom, dude.
I don't know
I
why
know
you
he was
brought up this topic tonight, man, but it's
embarrassed.
very personal to me, bro. Like,
Nah, I understand, man. That's why.
Yeah, the other,
That's why I made this live because I know there's a lot of brothers out there that've been abused, and a lot of brothers who know people that were abused, and this is something that doesn't get talked about. So this is something that needs to be talked about because Tommy Curry said, and you got a lot of these black boys that have been abused by these women, and they don't say anything because they know they're not going to be believed because these men are looked at as predators already. They looked at as that's what they wanted to do, even though they were manipulated at a young age to do these things or to make it think it
let,
was
let
okay.
me let me share another story with you guys that happened to me when I was in Jamaica. But this time she was young also, but still happened. She was my aunt. I lived with my aunt, and she had this husband. Like, I guess he was kind of rich, whatever. So I got to stay with him. He had some outside children separate from my aunt's broods. So one of his daughters came. She used to live in the slums in Tivoli Gardens. If you hear about Jamaica, you must have heard about Tivoli Gardens, one of the worst places in the world. And she came, and because she saw me living with her dad, she concocted this story that I abused her. See, in Jamaica, what they do with child molesters, they'll kill you on the spot before the police came. So
Mm-hmm.
she ran out in the street and was saying, "Oh, I abused her, whatever." So my aunt was like, especially my grandma. My grandma was like, first of all, Chris doesn't like when anyone sleep with him on the bed. So if you came on the bed while he was sleeping, he would have woke up. You said he didn't wake up, or you didn't know that he woke up. So my grandma was like, "Nah, I don't believe that because this kid can't sleep with nobody next to him. Like, even as I was older man, I became an older man. It took me years before I could sleep with chicks in bed. I don't like that. I don't like anyone sleeping next to me. And the dudes in the neighborhood simps, as we would call them now in America, they were quick trying to chop me up with machete for this girl just because this girl said I molested her. And my aunts and them was like, nah, if my aunts even said if it was my own sons, I would probably believe, but not Chris. And for some reason, my aunt and my grandma was able to talk these dudes down from her arming me. And it only took like 30 years after before this chick admitted that she was just jealous and she made up the story, bro. So like I was saying to people, when I hear this Me Too, when I see them attacking black man, I know about this shit from when I was a child. I don't buy that. Someone rape you, I know what rape is. My mother was raped. My mother told me she was raped in Jamaica. So this story about what black men are predators and that black man attack, I don't buy it. One false accusation. I'm telling you, bro, they were outside my gate with machetes, rock stone, as Jamaica said, big stone. They were trying to harm me for what this girl said, and it was a lie. I was telling them, I said, I never did anything like that, but they didn't believe me. Only my aunt and my grandma believed me. Took 30 plus years after before she admitted that she lied.
Damn.
Damn.
That's
JR,
crazy.
JR, if you want to come back on, just let me know. But yeah, but see, that's another thing too. We allowing these women to bear false witness saying that these men did something, and then 30 years later or 15 years later, they say, oh, it didn't happen, and then nothing happens to the girl. Because I'm pretty sure, Chris, nothing happened to the girl when she told you that she.
Nothing happened to her, bro. The funny thing is, when I went back to Jamaica and after like 22 years plus, and I saw her, I actually spoke to her, and then she come to find out now she's in the church. You know, she was what do you call it? She looked horrible now. Like she hit the wall early, and then she started telling me story about a real Me Too that happened to her. You know what happened to her? The leader of the ghetto, I think his name was Dudus, Christopher Dudus Coke. America came for him in Jamaica. If you guys must have heard about it, it was on the BBC where Jamaicans was fighting extradition and he was buying gunmen to come defend him in the territory. She said when she was a kid, like 16, that dude sent for her because he saw and liked her. She was growing into herself, and he did whatever he had to do with her. That's how she has the business she has in Jamaica now. She said when she found out that he did that, she said, well, you're going to have to give me something. And he gave her a little trailer. It's like those, you know, those trailer containers, they turn it into a little like hairdressing place. So that's where she do her business in downtown Kingston.
Yeah.
But she never reported that guy. Or she know better not to report that guy. That guy was the Don of Jamaica. You can't report that he raped you when you was a teenager. So, and I'm listening to her and I was like, look at this. She forgot that she told a lie on me that almost killed me. And the man that actually raped her, she had to keep her mouth shut. Or she bargained to get stuff from him, but you never reported him, but you told a lie on me.
Damn.
Yeah.
So when I hear these
I
stories,
didn't think the
man, I'm a little
pornography
bit
went as far as
indifferent.
Jamaica. God damn.
What are you talking about, bro? I hear you guys talking. If you think it's bad, ask Jamaicans how it is, bro.
I mean, I believe it because I know a lot
And
of.
I
then
believe it. Don't get me
what
wrong. I
happened was
believe it, but man,
what happened was that a lot of Jamaicans will tell you the worst thing that happened to Jamaica was actually the introduction of American cable television. Because
yeah, programming. Yeah, okay.
then it showed black women in Jamaica that they can be limitless and ruthless and nothing can happen to them, bro.
Yeah, because
like I was telling dudes, I was SYSBM from I was in the 90s when I left Jamaica. It's like, I'm not going back there. I'm not dealing with Jamaican women. Don't get me wrong, there's some good ones, but like I said, I'm not going to push my hand in a plastic bag with 10 deadly snakes trying to find a harmless one. I'm not going to do that.
I feel you, man. I feel you on that. you dropping some heat right now, man.
Yeah.
So no, don't you? Nobody talks about it, bro. There was
Yeah.
a guy that used to appear on a program, and we used to talk, and the guys in the chat used to say, "We didn't know this stuff going on in Jamaica." It's like, bro, you don't understand. 7 out of 10 children tested, and these are only the ones that are tested. Just now, like since I think last week or this week, there was another murder. The guy found out that the kids were not his. Jamaica is embroiled in a double civil war right now. What? Since February, what, 58 days or whatever, there's been 256 murders in Jamaica. 256 murders.
Over paternity fraud.
Damn.
Not over paternity fraud, but they're killing each other at that rate. Like it's the same problem that America has, or Black America. Single females who head of households. These are the kids, the sons that grow up to become neighborhood criminals. It's the same problem. Every time I listen to you guys, I'm like, I wonder if they know that Jamaica has the same problem that I think it's like 80% or 70+% of Jamaican households are single mother, held by single mothers. But you can't talk about that in Jamaica. Like that's a holy grail you cannot discuss. You know, you can't talk about problems with single mother in Jamaica. Like you just can't. Like, and if you think American men are scared of Black women, Jamaican man won't dare say anything about Jamaican women's ratchet behavior and stuff. I'm sure you guys seen dancehall videos and
Yes,
see
I
how
have.
Oh
these
yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
everybody's in the dance hall videos. Yeah.
So it's the same. It's everywhere, bro. It's this. It's affect black men. Black men are black men. Our futures are blighted before we even have futures, irrespective of where we are in the world. It's happening to us.
Mm-hmm.
They say, "How did you end up in Norway?" I said, "Well, when I graduated university in Florida, I went to Sweden with a Swedish chick, and like I was texting earlier in the chat room and telling you guys, my mother never told me about female nature until I started having problems with females, and that's when I started having custody battle with my ex. And I was like, you know, mommy, if you had told me these things earlier, maybe I would have been a little bit more wiser. You know, I shouldn't be having paternity problems with my ex. I never started having kids until I was 31 years old. I didn't want to have kids. Yeah, I did everything right. And sometimes I hear these people say, "Oh, you picked the wrong woman." I was like, well, I did
Yeah, it ain't always
everything
that
I
simple.
thought I was doing correctly, and still ended up having problems in Sweden with my ex for custody of my kids.
Right.
And bro, when I'm telling you, she told lies on me that I abused her.
Oh, that's the old MO. That's
Yeah.
the old MO that women do when they break up with a guy, especially because you remember Jennifer Hudson.
Happens to white dudes too. Look at Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I mean, well, even look at Jennifer Hudson when she broke up with her husband, and because she was cheating on him, and she told him that he was abusive to her and the child.
Yeah.
But he was a part-time lawyer, and so he got custody over his son. Well, not because I think they got joint custody, but that's an old playbook. If you break up with a woman and you got a kid, she'll say that you abused her or the kids, just so that she can have the kids. That way, she got power over you.
You know, they also around the school that I went, there was a whole bunch of these, because feminism is rampant in Sweden, man. Like, men have no rights here, bro. It's women, then kids, then dogs, and maybe men have maybe 2% of legal rights in Sweden. And she went to the school and she told them that I was abusive, whatever, and they had this problem with me, you know. And I'm telling you, you would be at the school as a father, you're dropping your kids off, especially your son. And you see these women purposely have their sons wearing dresses and Hello Kitty and mini pump or wedges. I have little boys wearing wedges to school with dresses, bro. You can't say anything. You
So
guys
it's
have
even
never heard
worse
of it.
over there than it is in the U.S.
That's what bro.
Yeah, I've seen that too. I've seen that too.
A lot of people think America is where it is. Let me tell you something.
Feminism is in Scandinavia. It's the test ground. Whatever you guys are getting, that was here 10 years ago, bro. It's
Yeah,
Yeah,
normal
the
now.
yeah,
You'll
okay,
West,
I
see,
can
you'll
believe
see,
that.
you'll see little boys
West,
with Hello Kitty handbags and dresses and stuff going to school that he's not a gender. He's hun. They have words for it also. Like he doesn't
Yeah,
have a gender.
yeah. Artist, you want to say something? You were kind of borging a little bit.
am I still Borgian?
No, you good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying the
Uh,
Western world really champions that. France got that whole thing where you got to stay hairy and all that. It's, I mean, they do that quite a bit, so it's not a surprise.
They teach little boys when you send your son to school, they're teaching him to sit and pee. I saw my son sitting and pee, and I was like, "What are you doing?" So his teacher made him pee like that. I said, "Bro, no man sits and pee."
Damn right.
yeah, they are doing that in the Europe countries because I've been because if you're part of any MGTOW channels, that's what the stuff that you see that they're trying to push. I think there was a one point where they were trying to get rid of the urinals in
Yeah,
these public places, but that didn't. I guess that didn't fall through.
a lot of the bathrooms here are unisex also, bro. Like, there's no
They,
gender, man. You can go into any bathroom.
Damn. Well, you said it. You said it. If you're saying it here, it's been there for 10 years. Damn.
I remember one time, right, when I just moved to Sweden, like 2009 or 10, around sometime there, they said that they didn't want men wearing shorts to work because their stuff was hanging out and their legs looked horrible. So the men, this is the only time I saw Swedish men stood up to feminism. So Swedish men decided to start wearing skirt to work. They were the train operators and stuff, the ones that drive the train and on the train. And it got so bad that they had to just drop the laws because the dude said, "Oh yeah, if I can't wear shorts, then I'm gonna start wearing skirt to work." So the dude started wearing skirt, and anything that the woman would wear, the dude started wearing it to work also. Until they said, "Okay, the ban," they repealed the ban. But yeah, man, like certain stuff here, bro, you can't do, man. As a man here, bro, you act too manly, man. It's problem. You're seen as aggressive. People will report you to the police, like they reported me to Swedish Child Protective Services that I was abusing my kid, and I had to
Note to
go in
self,
and
don't move
get
to Sweden.
questioned by. I left. That's why I left Sweden and came to Norway, man. It became too much, man. But it's here also. I haven't really interacted with it, but I see it. Like it's
yeah,
because it's the same Scandinavia, so it's here. But in Sweden, it was just too much. I did 10 years. That was enough, man. I said, nah, that's. I had to leave I just walked away from my kids. I said, you can have them. You and the Swedish state can have them, including my American-born kid. I lost custody of my American-born child because we have 3 kids together, 2 Swedish-born and 1 American, the first child. Sweden told me I didn't even have rights to my American-born child.
oh wow,
Wow.
they really going hard over there, man. Cause I know how bad it is. I've seen some of the videos over there, and those you think feminism is bad over here. You go over
Yeah.
there, it's 10 times worse. Like
And it's the same thing that you guys were talking about. Like, there were some refugees boys that were coming in. These supposed to be young teenage boys. And what they found out was a huge scandal in Sweden. These women were taking these boys and actually having sex with them. These refugees boys, these older women and these feminists were taking these little boys, and they found it was a huge scandal in Sweden. I don't know if it became international, but it was huge in Sweden that they
We haven't
found
heard
out
about
that
it, but
they were
go ahead.
using these little boys for sex toys.
uh,
But you see, the picture is that only men are sexual predators now. That's what I'm seeing. Like even my son, I'm worried. Here in Scandinavia, I'm worried for him. I don't know what's going to happen to him, or I'm going to have to train him as much as possible. Because when I'm here, what I do, like if I'm in the elevator and a woman comes in, I get off immediately. When I'm on the escalators, I make sure I stay 4 or 5 flights of stairs behind her. And if a woman comes behind me and she's too close, I make sure I turn around to let her see that I'm uncomfortable. You're this close to me. Because one allegation's here and you're screwed, bro.
Damn.
Well,
I wonder why their birth rate is in the toilet.
Yeah. Well, this is a question for everybody on the panel.
You know what? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead,
Art. Are men going to start have nihilism towards these women since all this stuff is going on? I mean, these predatory behaviors that women have that's not getting called out. Is nihilism the way to go?
Nihilism as in what?
Do you know what? Not nihilism is like not giving a damn, not caring. If you see a woman fall on her ass, you ain't gonna help her up. You like get your ass up on yourself.
It's gonna go. It's getting there already.
It's like you have no feeling, you have no obligation at all. You know, she's going to do everything herself. She's going to defend her own self. We're not obligated to defend them. We're not obligated to open a door for them. We're not obligated to help them out. If they gonna have to go to a job, they have to be qualified. No more the pussy pass. No more this. If you go on dates, it's going to be Dutch. All this stuff. This not a nihilism approach. Do you guys think that's what that may have to happen to fix the problems that we're having?
Yes.
Well, it's here already in Scandinavia, but it doesn't solve anything. Because here, a Swedish man or a Scandinavian man will see a woman struggling, she's lifting a bar, you won't see him help. He expects her to lift it. If it's 50 pounds, kilograms, she's expected to lift those 50 kilograms. But that doesn't help, bro. It just makes them worse because then they become more unhappy because men aren't jumping to their every command. So it makes they dig in even worse and they attack you even more to the point. What's happened here that when Swedish men get older, Scandinavian men get older, Thailand to get wives. They don't mess with Scandinavian women.
Actually, I was about to say that. This is why now I know why they're importing so many immigrants over there in Europe.
They even tried to stop Thai women from coming to Sweden. They were trying to say that too many Thai women are coming to Sweden. Yeah, older Swedish men don't deal with Swedish women. They find younger mates in Thailand. Right? That's where they go for their wife. When they get older and they want to settle down, they go to Thailand. And you would see them, like I used to work at the airports. I would see them in the summer, and you see them coming in from Thailand, plane loads of them. And these are older men with young Thai women. Swedish woman didn't like that. But you have to protect, at home with someone who gives you nightmare, or he lives with someone who's a little bit more feminine and, don't have the same, misconceptions of men dominating them. So, yeah, Swedish men, when they're older, they don't really mess with Swedish women like that.
All right, Art Newstall and then she.
Yeah, I noticed women, even one for white women. And I mean, you see them advertised, you see them still featured in movies. And if you notice, it kind of ties into the whole
You're Borgen, Art.
You Borgen. Are you out and about? He must be out. He must be out and about.
Yeah, I'm about to jump off.
All right, go ahead. Good, man. I appreciate you coming on.
All right.
All right. I guess Sergeant Stall's got some. He may be out and about. Yeah. Go ahead, Chi.
Yeah. The crazy part, I used to work for this moving company, and it was a white guy, and he was telling me, he kept saying, got me a young girl I'm messing with, and I'm like, okay. So he showed me a video of this Philippine girl. Like she looked at me and she was like, "Oh, he's black," because he kind of hurry up and showed the camera at me and was like, "Yeah, this is my roommate. We in the room and everything." And I was like, "Why are you?" Because I knew the whole score, so I'm like, I just basically talked to him. I was like, "Why are you dealing with this Philippine girl overseas and stuff like that?" He's like, "Well, the age I am, the money I make." He makes decent money, but at the same time, he was like, I don't have to have all this big old fight dealing with an American woman. He's like, a white woman in my age or a younger white woman, she's gonna want all my money and this and that. He's like, this Philippine girl, she's gonna want my money too, but at the same time, she's gonna be more loyal and submissive to me due to the fact that the family is gonna need her to do all that, so he can kind of get them to America or give them so much money to live over in the Philippines. So he was like, I look
Yeah.
at it as a give and take, I get a good submissive woman at the same time, she gets what she want out of the deal as far as money and regards, whatever. And I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, men look at relationships as cost analysis. How much it's going to cost me? And like what Chris was saying in his neck of the woods is that speaking with a woman and she takes something wrong, even though you may not have meant it, will cost you everything. Men are just gonna say, "Nah, I'm done. I'm not gonna deal with that." And that's why.
Bro, I never knew there was a charge of such thing called menacing until I came to Sweden. That if you're looking at a woman in a mean way, she can call the police and say you menaced her.
Right.
Menacing is a charge, looking mean. And I'm saying, okay, black man, sometimes we have the world on our shoulder. We might be walking and in our face, our muscles are not relaxed. And some woman look at you and think that you're mean because where I used to live, I was the only black guy that lived there.
Right.
And it could be sunshine out. I lived there for 10 years. And it could be sunshine out no matter how they would see me coming because they had this perception that African guys are rapists in Sweden. You would see Swedish women cross the street. If I was in the community washrooms, because how it is like where we live, like they have this thing they call you have to wash. You don't have washer inside your apartment. It's like in this community building where you have to
Yeah.
set a wash time. Yeah, so you would set your wash time, and when I'm in the washroom, if they saw me inside the washroom, they wouldn't come in. If they were in the washroom and I came in, they would quickly run out and then they would go get their boyfriends or they wouldn't come back. And I tell people, I say, you know what I said? Because I grew up in America, I know what real racism is, or I'm used to it. So sometimes it doesn't bother me. I just said, okay, if you're going to let some foreigner let you have shrinkage in your country, then fine. I'm going to enjoy Sweden. You sit on the train. Sometimes they don't want to sit next to you. These are the stuff that people don't talk about, but even when they had the rapes going on in Sweden, they still were saying that they still viewed black men as rapists, even though it was the Arabs who was doing, the recent immigrants were doing the rape, not black men. They were black rapists there, but the number of rapes that was going on wasn't being carried out by Africans or black male. They were carried out by Middle Easterners. But our face was the face of rape, and that was before the Me Too. That was before Me Too took a hold. And I'm here, man, I'm telling you, I sat in my living room watching the TV and saw when they put R. Kelly and they put, what's his name, Russell Simmons stuff on. I've yet to see anything on TV about Harvey Weinstein here. Nothing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm saying it's funny. I haven't seen anything about Harvey Weinstein, and R. Kelly wasn't convicted yet. He still hasn't been to court. And
Nah, not at
bro, they
all.
have the series. They have the series, and I saw part 2 that they're advertising that they're going to be showing part 2 now about R. Kelly.
Well, part 2 is garbage.
Yeah, and the whole regards with all that, the BBC did a lot of documentaries on Harvey Weinstein, but they're not promoted as the black culture because they have to show us as the scapegoat. If you look at the way they promoted Bill Cosby so bad, because he was mainly to me the first one that got on the chopping block. Because when Harvey Weinstein got caught, Bill Cosby, they just pushed him in like right above Harvey, went over Harvey. Harvey's still going through the rehab. He's at the clinic drinking at the bar. They showed all these pictures, but you see Bill's up there, old, in the courtroom, going through the proceedings. And then right after that, it was R. Kelly. Then it's like they want to push more and more black people. So when you got these Harvey Weinsteins and what's the name, Jeff Epstein, when he did his thing, Epstein, yeah, there was nothing because Epstein, they didn't want it to get out about him. This guy was like the biggest of all when it came to the kids. But if he got out, then it showed everybody that was associated with him. Bill Clinton, from the Queen Elizabeth, her nephew or whoever that was caught up in there.
Prince
You got
Andrew.
those governors, the governors in not Atlanta, but Arizona. You got the one in Massachusetts. All those guys were on the books.
Yeah,
It's like it's almost like a superhead biography. When he got caught, he started naming names, and the whole problem was he named a few names that was touching, but he didn't name all of them. Same thing with R. Kelly. When R. Kelly came out, when he was saying they killing me about this, he don't want to know. He can't tell the whole truth because he's next. He know they're gonna kill him in jail. That's why he's trying to get a bond to get out because he knows if he say the wrong name or put the wrong person out, he's in there too. He was protected all those years.
Yeah.
Look how he beat the first trial.
All right, Joe, go ahead. Joe.
Sorry about that. My phone was acting funny. But I agree with everything y'all saying for the most part. What I don't like about this Me Too shit is just basically a way to, I guess, go after the black man and just take the, I guess, successful ones out. Like, there's no way, like the Bill Cosby one is the one that like pissed me off the most. Cause it's like, how can a motherfucker say something from now? This is the thing. I'm not saying they lying or telling the truth because I don't know, but it's a lack of evidence, so therefore I'm assuming it's a lie. If a motherfucker, especially a black man, is successful at the top of their game, rich beyond belief, and can get anything they want, let's not act like a woman won't throw themselves at them. You know what I mean? And then, like, the way the media perpetuate that, like, y'all know that guy Cristiano Ronaldo, right? The soccer player. Now, he had a case like that too. You ain't heard nothing about it. It wasn't on ESPN. It wasn't on Sports. It wasn't on nothing. You had to Google it yourself. Just like with that Kristaps Porzingis, the Russian dude that played for the Knicks or whatever. Like, it's no way that they could have open cases against them. The media don't say shit about that, but it's some hearsay about a black man from years ago, and it's just like, oh well maybe he did do it. All the women are victims. It's like there's no evidence for none of that. And then I don't mean to go on a rant, hold y'all up or whatever, but that Kobe Bryant thing pissed me off too. That made me so fucking mad, man.
Yeah.
All these bitches, they not looking at it as like a loss of life. They looking at it like, oh, an asset died and his money going to a Hispanic woman. This is my thing. Man, look, I don't give a hell what nobody say. He loved the girl. He was with her since he was like 17. You can't tell me he just got with her because she Mexican. If he been with her for, you know what I mean? He got with her when he was young, and before that he was with Brandy. So what's the excuse with that? Like, they tore him apart. It made me sick to my stomach just seeing like, I seen one girl, the dark mother got you, and I'm like, bro, y'all are fucking psychotic. Like, why is it that no matter what situation, even when the black man is the victim, we somehow always the perpetrator of the fucked up thing? I don't get that. And that's something that never gets addressed, especially in the black community. The victimization of everybody but the black man. Like, no matter what we do, no matter how successful we are, we never like have anybody just like that. That's another thing that we got to talk about. That bullshit ass, oh, we're behind black man and we're this and we're that. No, like, I ain't gonna say all black women, but it's a lot of them that like they don't give a fuck about black women.
All right, hold on for just a second.
All right.
Christopher, I know you said it's late for you. Just say one last thing. I'm gonna bring you down so that way, if you got to go to sleep, you can go to sleep. You'll have to say your last final words, and I'm gonna bring you down. I'm gonna bring up Mike.
Hey, you can put me in the back chat. I step down so Mike can come up.
No, you good.
Okay.
Well, go ahead, Chris.
Oh, there's a mic.
He's gone. Oh, there you go. Right there.
No, he's there. Go ahead, because I know you getting ready to leave.
Well, the thing is that black men, if there's such thing as a sexual registry, like victims and predators, we've never been credited as being victims. We've always been seen historically as brutes and and deviants. So it's very hard for, I guess, now with this rehashing of black men being sexual bastards and predators, that these stories about little black boys have to come forward and sort of like drive a chasm between this image that they're trying to cement as black men being the face of sexual debauchery. And me personally, I think there's sexual brutes in every race. Some cultures might not want to talk about it. Like, I have Asian cousins. A lot of those Asian, Jamaican, Chinese dudes are perverts also, but it doesn't get discussed. But the world knows about black men's sexual misgivings or deviances. Like, it has to be advertised and it has to be broadcasted that whenever you see a black man, chances are he's probably a perpetrator of some sexual crimes in the present or probably in his past. And that's troubling. That's very troubling. But most people don't understand, like, you're not a black man, so you don't understand, like it's a simple, brush on a woman in the elevator, and she might think that, yeah, maybe he rubbed on me the wrong way. Like, I'm getting off the elevator, you're in the way, that I'm going to have to rub up against you. Like, it's quite disturbing, man. It's very disturbing what's going on. But
So do you guys think
black man, we don't unite, man. When it comes to misery and empathy for each other, black men, we don't have empathy for each other. So we kind of isolated, by saying, "No, it's not going to happen to me." So then we don't have some kind of a unified front where a black man could say, "Nah, not on our watch. This is not. You're not going to paint us as sexual predators." When
Now this.
Hold on, Joe, because I just wanted him to get this out because he needs to leave. So
Okay, my bad.
I just want him, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead, wrap it up, and so that way I can get Mike out here. Cause I know you, it's late for you. Go ahead. Chris, you there? Hello? Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and bring you down, Chris. I appreciate you coming on. Let me bring up Mike. All right, Edward, Art New Style, and then Mike. Edward, you there?
Hey, that's the first time Edward has nothing to say.
Okay. All right, Art New Style, and then Mike. Man, he'll come back up.
Well, just to get you guys engaged more, do you
Can
think
you hear me?
Yeah,
that
we can hear you now.
Yeah, it was a bad connection, but
I'll
go ahead
yield.
and I'll be
I'll
back
yield.
off you now.
All right. Go ahead, Art New Style.
Do you guys think it's more
You're Borging again.
do you think that it's a desperate attempt to try to maintain a villainization of like
It's not a desperate attempt because it's not being challenged. But go ahead.
Let him answer the question. Go ahead, Art.
and all this kind of the Nino Brown from New Jack City, dark versus light. So do you think that they're getting all players like the black woman, global things going on as far as the Me Too? I mean, do you think they like really piling it on? That's what I'm asking you guys. Go ahead, Edwin. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it's more, you have to understand, the purpose of there's a couple of purposes of the black male sexuality shit. Number one, it is to protect the white woman because they understand that a mixed woman can be considered black, but they will, and this is not based on what can be, this is the rules white people have established. A mixed woman can be considered black, but a mixed woman can't be considered white. This is especially true in the United States. Now, it's different depending on globally, but so the point is, white purity cannot be maintained. And obviously, black melanin is a dominant gene and all that stuff. So that's the first purpose. Second purpose that it serves on a societal level is to basically cover up the sins of other groups. So you put black men out there in the forefront of everything, and then motherfuckers can continue doing what they're doing when it comes to sexual predators, when it comes to kids, when it comes to Hollywood, comes to a lot of different shit. This is why these people can be operating in open and in plain sight and still do that. You have people like Roman Polanski, Woody Allen, where known actors like Scarlett Johansson and shit, whenever they're trying to chase an Oscar, will go to these directors and they just live overseas so they can't be charged, but nobody's trying to get them extradited, and they've done known shit. So it's known, right? So those are the two purposes. The one thing I'll also add in there too, which is something that has to be accounted for, is black men. Black men, I would ask black men this. If would black men trade in their mythos of sexual superiority so they are not seen as sexual predators? Because they come both in the same package. When you see the media that is not controlled by black men that gives this idea of black men being bad boys or black men being sexually superior, that is not because white people do that on purpose. That is an unintentional byproduct of you putting black men out there as a sexual being in the first place. So by making black men taboo, you inadvertently make black men bad boys, which is the shit that you see these white women chasing after black men. What happened? And white men have never been able to try to control that, but that's not from a lack of trying. So the point is, but black men buy into that sexual mythology. And as a result, the biggest reason why you don't see us try to counter that in any real way is because we see it as a net benefit. The liabilities happen to the individuals it happens to, but black men get a net benefit from it, and that's a benefit we're not willing to let go. And that's something that needs to be honestly asked of us. But anyway, I'll fall back.
All right, Mike, Joe, and She.
Hey guys, what's up?
Doing good.
Yeah, from the UK here, and a few things pretty quickly. It's going to be very bold, right? My background is I'm Black, Cuban ancestors. So whatever Christopher said about Jamaica, go to Cuba, you find exactly the same shit. Literally. We speak Spanish, but we're all Black there. We know how it works with the women over there. I grew up in Europe. I dealt, again, Christopher really, really touched me with what he's saying. I'm younger, much younger than him. But Sweden, same thing. Norway, same thing. Denmark, same thing. Getting to France, Germany, the whole Europe is getting contaminated with these things, right? So whatever you're seeing in the US over there, give it another 5 years, you'll see, you'll start crying over there. So we're used to that here in Europe. So the way I deal with Swedish women or Scandinavians is pretty simple. And one more thing, everything you said about Swedish guy, Swedish women don't want allegedly Swedish men anymore because they consider them as not being real men. But they don't see that what they've done is basically emasculate their own men so that these guys go to Asia, Thailand, China to get those women, right? That's one thing. Now, the reason why they go for blacks is the obvious. I'm not going to get there. We all know what it is about, but also because they think we are more docile, right? So back to Vega, no, the whole thing, we all know about it. So now how to deal with these women. So you get there, they're really nice. The way I deal with that is very, very simple. This is what I tell them. Around me, this is Cuba. This is not Sweden. And I'm very extremist from the beginning because I know I'm going to have to leave a lot in a way, right? So I'm literally the extremist. And then they get to understand who they're dealing with because I don't need them for work. I don't need anything. I got my shit together. I work and I would never, never, ever go to Sweden to live there. Reason is, soon as you get in the system, you're done as a man. Everything you're going to do is scrutinized. So these are things you guys understand that passport is important, but when dealing with these women, one mistake you guys are going to do is to ever get to Scandinavia and settle down with all your shit there. Do not do this kind of thing. Stay in Spain, stay in France, maybe Latin countries, because there's still men over there, but do not get there and settle down there and deal with these girls from there on your own terms. So yeah, he said a lot of things, because he's older than me and he's experienced more things, with the Scandinavian. I know these guys pretty well as well. So yeah, it's I guess just really to share this experience. Whatever you guys are feeling over there, we got the same here. Now we're starting and sharing, the knowledge we have of these women. Now the Eastern European are still more or less okay right now, but they're also getting into this drama thing. Right. So it's all about where you are in Europe when you deal with these ladies. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Yeah, hope it helps.
Okay, Joe, Sheed. Go ahead, Joe. Then Sheed.
All right, I kind of wanted to talk about what Anderson was saying about the perpetuation that black man is like a sexual deviant or whatever. Now, I'm of the idea that white people don't suffer from white superiority; they suffer from white inferiority. Like, think about it. They do all these kinds of things to remind themselves that they so-called better than we are, which is a complete lie. And back to the topic about the stereotype about the black man, like about being a sexual deviant or whatever. Now, is it that we actually are, or is it that everybody else knows we are, even when we don't try to be? Like, think about the Me Too thing, for example. It's just a way to throw black men up under the bus, do all this, all that, blah, blah, blah. Now, what I'm saying is they perpetuating all these negative stereotypes about the black man, and it's not stopping white women from sleeping with us. It's not stopping us from having more kids than white folks, or it's not stopping none of that. Now,
because they know that's not true. But go ahead.
Yeah, like I can't stand it. It makes me sick to my stomach that all this shit goes on, and you got people like I don't believe in, you shouldn't look up to celebrities and all this for their opinions and all this stuff, but you got motherfuckers like Oprah Winfrey, excuse my language, you got people like Oprah Winfrey just going on TV doing all this shit. And this, I seen the post on Instagram, she had some healer lady or some healing dude or whatever.
Yeah, they was caught up on sexual shit. White dude.
Yeah, he had like 15 choice. I'm like, what the hell? Why ain't nobody talking about
John
this?
of God.
Celebrities are
believe that his name is
propaganda
John
tools.
of God.
Yeah, and celebrities are propaganda tools. But go ahead. That's why they're important to recite on these situations.
And something else that I'm not understanding, like it's getting to a point now, like I'm seeing so much open hate from, like I say, I'm not gonna say all black women, but it's a lot of them, man. All this. I'm 21 years old. I'm seeing all this open fucking hate from them. It's like, damn.
Oh
like,
yeah, they gonna hate y'all. Y'all, you a millennial? Oh yeah.
I was in the gas station the other day. I was walking in the gas station. This white girl was coming, and like I said, I'm not putting no race above nothing, just so people, because people, oh, you think white people are better? That's hell no. I think everybody should be equal. But I was going in the gas station, or whatever, and this white girl was coming out, and she seen me about to go in. She held the door for me. I was like, you ain't had to do it. She was, oh no, I saw you coming in. I just wanted to nice. I was like, okay, that's cool. So it was a black girl coming out behind me. I held the door open. This motherfucker ain't say thank you or nothing. And I was just like, she looked at me like, how dare you have the audacity to open the door? I'm like, these bitches
Joe, would you say that these females act like they got access to grind? But no,
man, they
act
reason? Exactly, and it's all look. This is the thing. I'm saying that. Like I said, I'm not gonna say all because my girl is like nothing like that. But for most of the, I guess you said I'm Generation Z, right? Like most of them,
Yeah.
it's like they got a hatred. It's like a hatred for us, man. I swear to God, like it's just a straight hatred.
I
Like
would love to see a
my
panel with
friend,
like Jessica Light with Gen Z dudes. Y'all the same
man,
age.
She probably not gonna come on my channel
it's
anymore.
I'm working on it, fam. I'm working
Oh,
on it.
after what you did the other, what you did to that one chick, that shit was. She was on some. But
like,
I would love to see that. But go ahead, Joe. My bad.
and then I just want to give one more example. Like I said, I'm not downplaying all black women, but it's like I said, the ones that's my age, y'all. I know some of y'all listen to this panel. Y'all know I'm right as hell. Like another one, I was in the bank. This was like 2-3 weeks ago. Now I'm a dark skinned dude. I'm like 6 feet 6'1" or whatever, and I'm like dark skinned. I'm like and I went in. It was a teller at the bank or whatever. It was my turn to go to the window. The lady didn't even speak to me. She just kept looking at me, like didn't say nothing. Man, I end up getting a lady number. As soon as I was getting ready to walk out, the girl talking about that boy black as hell. You gave him your number? I was like, whoa. Like,
What
that's fucked
region?
up.
What region are you out of?
Missouri?
Northeast, West. Okay, Missouri. Okay,
Midwest.
Midwest. Yeah, I'm from
and
the Midwest. Yeah, I gotta say it. I don't give a fuck about how you feel. The black chicks out of the Midwest regionally are the worst. They're the
man,
worst.
and then I'm gonna my bad. You say what you saying?
No. Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you the part that fucked me up the most. The Hispanic lady said, "Why would you say something like that? That man's sexy as hell." She's like, "Why would you say something like that?" And I'm just thinking, like, it should not take for somebody outside of my race to even. They shouldn't even have seen it like in the first. You know what I mean? Like, why do you have that? Why are you just because of the skin?
I don't mean to cut
You
you
got
off.
his
Which one
black
look
ass
better?
your
The
number like.
Hispanic chick look better. The black chick that said that in that situation.
Hispanic chick by a mile.
And then you wonder why, if you can get a better product for a cheaper price, easier access. Sorry, that's supply and demand. Shit's gonna happen the way it's gonna happen. But see, that part you said before is what black women don't like to talk about. They don't like to talk about, for the most part, black men do give them the right of first refusal. And what happens is
exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
He that gets mad.
All right.
Sorry, guys.
Hold on. Sheed, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm betting to get you in.
Yeah, to touch on the same thing, man. It's always that way. That's the crazy part is, like, I had a lot of girls in high school I messed with, just a lot of black chicks. And the crazy part, like, without me even knowing, like, my wife, she's Jamaican. And I ended up messing with her simply because, the way she had herself structured, she already had her kids, so she wasn't with the nonsense. And that's what the type of person I was looking for. Every girl that was my age, they say girls supposed to mature faster than men. But in this day and age, they don't. They on the same playful grind as the dudes are. The dudes out there trying to holler, hit, with everything walking. Women are the same way. So me being myself, having an older mind, my wife, she already was like, I'm not with the bullshit. I was like, shit, fuck it, me too. That's what made me get married to her. And, seeing this SYSB and all this other stuff, is like my whole thing. I love black women. I love dark-skinned women. My wife is brown-skinned, but at the same time, it didn't matter because, I see the person for what they is versus, the outside features. And that plays that second part in, because my people always told me, you got to go home to somebody that look good at night. You can't lay in the bed with a creature, So that was my second thing in finding a wife. But far as these women out here, same thing, man. Like, most of these women have a chip on their shoulder. They look at you a funny kind of way. And the crazy part, like, I get more passes at older women than I do at women in my own age, because they see how I carry myself. And they, like, if they talk to me, see how I carry myself, see how older women like me more than the women my age. They be like, oh, you married? Okay, cool. But if I tell an older woman I'm married, They be like, "Oh, you married? Whoop, whoop. You got kids?" Or they see my kids with
And
me.
can I?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Joe.
This is another thing I wanted to say too. Like my girlfriend was a virgin. Like I was 16 when I got with her. I'm 21. Like I with other girls beforehand and stuff like
Breaking
that.
up,
But
Joe.
I'm gonna tell you, like, oh my bad. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
We
you
can
good.
hear
Go
you.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Like something that's different about my girl needs. I guess the rest of my generation is like the entire mindset. Like this something that never gets talked about. Like you ever notice that you get shamed for not participating in the negative shit in the black community? Like I
Yep.
had like my mom. I had told her like I want to wait till I'm 25 to have kids with her because I'm still trying to get my life together with her. And I was talking to my homeboys a couple of weeks ago. We was all at the gym hooping, and all of them got kids with them. First thing they asked me, Joe, when you gonna get your girl pregnant? I said, bro, I want to wait a while. Damn, you
Oh,
gonna wait
nigga,
till you an
that's
old
shit.
ass man?
Nigga,
And I
that's
said, bro, I said, y'all telling me all the time how y'all baby mamas do this, do that, won't let y'all see y'all kid and all this. I said, why would I put myself in a situation like that? Or for the possibility of something like that when I'm not prepared for that? Oh, bro, you waiting too long, this, or even like the gang bang thing. Like I'm from the hood, this part of like, man, hey, like when I was coming up, you know how they did all that goofy ass gang bang stuff or whatever. My homeboy Shannon, well, he dead now, but he used to always tell me, Joe, when you gonna come run with us? When you gonna come do that? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, like I was an athlete and I kind of did like I was a bookworm too. Like I didn't do none of that hood street stuff. I just knew dudes that was in it. This dude told me I'm not a man. Like we was like what 14, 15. He's like, Joe, you ain't gonna be a real man till you start running the streets with us and all that. Man, my mama didn't play none of that though.
At that point, you need. I'm gonna tell you something. That if black men that are older can distill black men that are younger, I'm 33, so I'm not old. But if I can tell, because I got younger brothers, my youngest brother's 23. Your friends is who you are. If you got too many friends that's dead, nigga, you next. Because it's who you
And that's the thing. Like I want to say probably about 2-3 months later, he came up dead. They shot that dude 4 times. Right in front of his grandmama.
Joe.
But this is the thing. Yes, sir.
Now I was gonna say the same way you walking, man, the same way I'm walking. I didn't have my first child till I got married. And that was probably about almost 3, 4, probably even 5 years after I got married, I had a kid. My wife was looking at me like, what's wrong with you? You shooting blanks? My whole thing was I wanted to be ready. You gotta understand, like I told
and be responsible.
Yes, like I told the last panel, dog. Like I talked to my wife earlier. I said I lost my parents at a young age. So when I got my life insurance policies and all this stuff, I told her this stuff is for you. I'm planning out my life. I said when I work hard, get a second job, I'm doing this for my kids. I say when at the end of the day, I'm structuring stuff because I didn't have my parents there with me. So my biggest fear is me dying and not leaving nothing for my kids. You know, that's what my whole biggest thing, not even having kids, because I didn't want no crazy ass baby mama. Like I seen all my homeboys.
Exactly.
All right. I'm gonna bring up Meech. And I'm gonna bring myself down because I got a lot of people in the background to try to get in.
All right, so I'll hop off after a little bit too.
Well, I want Mike, Art Nusal, and then Edward, and then after Edward, I want Meech. I want you to be up here to talk.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, guys.
Quickly here, Mike here. I get you guys. I don't know if you had the opportunity to date Indian girls in the UK, in Europe. The first thing when you're dating an Indian girl, what they tell you is, okay, what's your life planning about? They are not going to tell you about having kids first. They want you to get there to show them what you want to do with them. Their parents are behind them to get married first before any idea of kids and everything. So they always think about get married, live for 4 or 5 years together, make money, and then we get everything.
I ain't mean to cut you off, but like I'm telling you, my generation, does not value none of that at all. Like
It's not
we,
just your generation, sir. Millennials are fucked up. Y'all just continuation. Go ahead.
then,
I'm 35.
like,
I'm
have y'all
35,
noticed
Mike.
like society is for black people? It's just like as far as our behavior, like I'm gonna say it one more time. Not all, but it's an overwhelming majority. Like the behavior
It's
is
called the
like
gynocracy.
the gynocracy is fucked up. Like even the kids nowadays. Like I told my mom,
Yeah.
like we had went to a baseball game. We was leaving out. These dudes had to probably be about 14, 15 years old. The pants was extra tight. They had on them damn man purses. I'm like, bro, what is wrong with these? What's wrong with these little dudes? But this is the thing. They was sitting there bothering. I don't know if it was I don't know what he was. He's probably about 9 or 10 years old. He was trying to leave out with his mama with him. They start thumping a little dude in the back of his head and stuff. And I'm just thinking, like, bro, kids like this, I see why people shoot some of them sometimes. Like you bothering the person that's minding their own business for no apparent reason. You just doing it for the hell of it. Like the parents they doing a terrible job raising their kids. Like, and I'm gonna keep it brief because I know everybody else want to get their turn too. This something that I want to have this cross anybody's mind. Like y'all seen how women been supporting this Dwayne Wade thing with his kid or whatever. Now listen to this. The first thing they say was, oh, a man should be in control of his kid's life and be there and support them and build strong kids. But this the thing. When T.I. did that same thing, it was the end of the world. You shouldn't tell a 18-year-old what to do and all this. What happened to my house, my rules? Like it's like they only want a man to be around when he can support the fuckery, but when he there to keep order and keep stability, it's a problem.
All right. So Mike, then Art.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
One quick example again, because we're talking about heavy things here. I was dating this girl who went to Costa or Starbucks, wherever, we went to Costa. We went to Starbucks, got a coffee, left my coffee on the table, to the toilet. By the time I'm back, she basically set the whole table for us to have a nice coffee and everything. And I looked at her. I was like, why did you do that? And she goes like, well, my mom raised me to be a wife. That's what. 30 years old. My mom raised me to be a wife. It made me think of, BGS story. Every time BGS talks about this Latina woman and everything, like that's what we got here. I never, ever, and I've done this test a lot of times with our sisters, as we call them. I never had this before. Never, ever. So it just tells you how we raise our children and how they raise their children. If there's anything good to take from them, I would definitely take that. You know what I mean? So these are little things. I see around, and even these young kids here, you see a lot of disease, or I don't know, 20 years, 23 years, they're all going away. They're not dating black girls here in the UK or in Europe. But it says something about what's going on within the black society in general.
All right,
But
Art.
that's
Then
the
Meech.
beauty. That's the beauty of the whole thing. Like the younger brother was talking.
Hey, Meech. Mute up,
He's
Meech.
calling. Can you
I
guys
need
hear
you to
me?
mute up. Yeah,
Oh,
Art, you next, then Meech. We need Meech. You on
okay.
mute.
Yeah. The fact that you're able to call things out, that's just, that's putting it in works. Because when you start like, having blinders and not really seeing what's going on, this stuff continues.
Oh, that's not me.
That's what it continues. I'm over here pushing the cart. I'm in the store.
Mm.
I'll hop off after I finish. But the thing that I wanted to really point out was, man, everybody spoke so much, I lost my thought. But but the thing that I really wanted to point out was the fact that if we're able to call it out, point it out, then if we don't have like too much space in between, because that's the thing is like, okay, for example, all this stuff happening with Dwayne Wade's son, but the only people that are really calling it out is us. But you don't hear too many other people calling it out, and when that time goes by, then you're gonna look up, it's gonna be more than just Dwayne Wade's son. That's because people are silent, especially the one that's supposed to be speaking up. So I wanted to just throw that on there, but I had to get out of here, y'all. So y'all be safe, y'all be cool.
All right, Meech. Meech.
What Art just said. He hit it. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. I want to elaborate on what Art just said there because he made a very important point, right? You know, the effects, everything has an effect. There's cause and effect. Everything has an effect, right? What black women are not calling out and what they choose not to highlight because they want the spoils of this bullshit war is going to have an effect. And down the line, they're not going to want to take accountability for not calling this out. So I don't, whoever's listening, understand you're not calling this out, you're not highlighting it, and you're not talking about it on social media the way that you talk about everything else. Understand this is going to have an effect on you, especially those that are 40 and under, because you're not old enough to where you're going to be dead in the next 10 years, and your children. And you're going to have to take accountability for it one way or another, even if you don't take accountability for it out loud to yourself. The same damn way as you kill yourself when you overeat, you don't exercise, and you have to deal with that later on. You don't have to admit it. You're going to deal with it one way or another. The second thing is that, you know, a lot of stuff that's done here in this country has effects that are unintended, but still beneficial, right? So because we all know that this stuff that's going on here is demonizing black men is the primary thing. The secondary part about it, though, is that you also get to divide and conquer in the black community, right? So as they sit up here and they see this now, they're putting our backs against the wall to where you're even having such a conversation about black men, SYSBM, being willing to date outside your race, right? Taking that on seriously, is that it adds to the admixture, right? Because they want admixture. Well, if they put our back against the wall, it is what it is. You're going to either get out of the corner or you're gonna be able to punch out. The thing is, you have to punch out here. This is a team sport. This is a 100-man against 100-man boxing sport. This ain't one-on-one. But you need the rest of your team to be there with you. Do you get what I mean? Secondly, this deal right here, with as far as they're just flat out demonizing black men. All of this stuff. What I love about it happening now, I don't like it happening, but if it's gonna happening now in an age of social media where it is all on record. So you're going to be able to go back the same way as you got PhDs that go back, like Dr. Tommy Curry, and he goes and he analyzes how black men get treated compared to the way black women were treated in the past. And a lot of what was done was because they didn't think that people would keep it on record, go back and analyze it. The same thing that happened to that, they're going to be able to do now 10 to 20 years from now. Now, it may not be a large group here in the United States, but it's able to be done. Do you get what I mean? If we can see what's happening, and as much as they try to play it off like we don't see what's happening, it's very obvious. Do you get what I mean? So and I'll say this and then go on a side note. As much as, I'm not going to mention their name, but as much as some of them, these BWs, act as though we don't see what they're doing when they come up here on these panels and cause havoc and people call them out, we're not dummies. We know what a troll is. Get what I mean? If it was me personally, I'm not telling anybody what to do with the channel. If it was me personally, I'd boot them the moment I noticed they were doing it, right? So we see what you're up to. You're only further promoting SYSBM when you're doing that. And you're promoting it for anybody across the world that can hear these kind of streams. That's all I got.
All right, Edward, Joe, and then Ford.
Yeah. Can y'all hear me great?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Okay. So, yeah, like Meech said, the biggest promoter of SYSBM is black female fuckery. That's why, you know, when dudes always think it needs to be said all the time, it really doesn't. There's always going to be channels. Also, I'll say this, dialing it back. This is why it's important to talk about the gynocracy, because people always they say something's wrong, but it's like they don't know how to put their finger on it. They can point to the symptoms, but they can't point to the cause. Like, what is an overarching cause that kind of all these symptoms disseminate from? And what you're seeing with a lot of these millennials, obviously Mike and them from the UK and all of that, you're seeing that this stuff, it shows up in different ways. Because when I talk about the gynocracy, I'm particularly talking about the United States of America, because our laws are set up a certain type of way versus, in Europe, you have different laws. I know they have the EU, but the shit it's a little bit different than what it is here. But I know they're dealing with fuckery. My point is, when people come in the United States, they can do some shit that's unique. And what you see with how non-black women treat black men is really different ways based on a gynocracy that they see. They just don't call it out because other groups benefit from it. So that's why that's important to put that out there. I'm gonna make sure that if I don't donate to nobody, Tommy Curry needs to come up with some kind of foundation to give people metrics by which people can donate from, because the work that he's doing, actionable, like research work that needs to be done. And then obviously at the Manosphere, we can disseminate the work that he's doing and then put that out. If we're the marketing arm or the PR arm, he's the actual research arm. And that's actually, because there's always going to be people to put a YouTube channel together, but doing that work, especially with the doctor that he has, same thing with T.S. Johnson, that's some stuff we don't have. That's a much more rare resource, so to speak. Shout out to King Sigma, because he does a lot of citizenship scholarship as well on the real. That's really proper. But the gynocracy is real. Y'all, people need to stop. We need to, quite frankly, shut down a lot of dudes that deny it. If y'all don't hear nothing else I fucking said, understand that the biggest threat to that truth is other black men. Because remember what I said before. There's a lot of black men that are in cahoots with shit being this way, because they rather be seen as sexual gods as well as sexual deviants than rather being seen as human beings. They would rather be fetishized than they would rather actually have to actually deal with women on some I'm accomplished shit. This is why whenever give me like 20 more seconds. This is why whenever we talk about economics and shit like that, black men don't like creating a hierarchy around economics, but they love creating a hierarchy on the bitches that they fuck. This is why dude that was talking about, Joe was talking about the peer pressure of him having kids at 25, which quite frankly is a normal, if not a slightly young age to be having kids as a dude. They would talk about, you need to have kids, you need to do this, because they're going on autopilot. And it's very important to recognize that, because if you don't, you're going to wind up like your friends, whether it's baby mama drama, which you may never climb out of, or it's dead. And another thing I'm going to say, millennials are fucked up too. Zillennials are just like the second generation continuation of after the crack era. So it ain't just, well, these zillennials, it's really both. But anyway, I'll fall back on that.
All right, Joe, and then
and I'm going to hop off so you can bring somebody else back on. Appreciate it, Art.
Yeah, no problem, man. All right, go ahead, Joe, and then for the win.
Something else that need to be addressed too is like I was watching this dude C Boogie earlier. He was talking to Game Changer or whatever, and something that men have to stop doing. They got to stop trying to shame other men for their own opinion. Like, I respect C Boogie opinion about self-improvement and all that, and I respect Game Changer opinion about he didn't find nothing here, so he went somewhere else. Now that shouldn't even be a discussion. A man can do what a man want to do, but I was noticing with C Boogie, he kept trying to make him feel bad. Oh, you don't want to deal with black women. You want to do that, do that. A man can do what they want to do, and this has to be said. Like I said, it ain't all black women, but at some point in time, this shit got to be addressed. It's a big percentage of, I guess I call them baby mamas or whatever. They like everything they do is the fault of, they say it's the fault of a black man. Oh, we're not protected, even though we're gonna talk about black dudes 24/7 how they ain't shit. Oh, you supposed to come to our rescue. You can't talk about black women because you hate your mother, and if you do, you're gay and all that. Like, it's like at some point in time, you got to sit there and face the reality of the situation about the behavior, how they act, how they dress, what they do, and how they constantly put down black men. Like, they cannot keep on being like unaddressed. Like the what's the girl name Jessica that y'all was talking about earlier? I seen the live stream with her, and everything she was saying, oh, we got away from the abuse of black man and all this. and we wouldn't trade that to go back into servitude and all that. Okay, if that's the fact, don't blame niggas for everything that happened after the fact. Quit blaming niggas for stuff that has nothing to do with them. Did you know 80% of black men between the age of 18 and 29 don't have kids? You can't blame us for some shit that other niggas is doing. That's not how it works. That's not how it works at all.
All right, for the win.
Nah, man. I just wanted to come on here and chime in a little bit. I'm a Gen Z, and I was just on the panel with Matt Bus Driver and stuff like that. And one thing I told him, I said, "Yo, honestly, bro, just let this shit burn to the ground, because it's to a point to where I forgot who said this, but you have a bunch of magos running around, and they want to support this bullshit. So the problem is you're dealing with a bunch of people who truly don't want to get right. Okay, like." It's to the point to where you have your own people literally shaming you for being intelligent. What kind of shit is that? And then you really run around here talking about, man, I wonder why black folks don't have anything. Shit, I fucking wonder why. Because how is it you allow these scrags to run around here and do what they do, but the moment you see your brother, quote unquote, try to rise to the ranks, here you come trying to shame him. You know what I mean? So just let this shit burn to the ground, man. Because even the other day I took an IQ test or whatever, got a pretty high score on it, and like niggas was mad. And I'm like, yo, how the fuck are you mad? Because I decided to do my own research and I decided to use my talents to improve in life. But the thing is, you look at the black mothers, they don't even allow their sons to be creative. Like, you're telling your sons, oh, don't think for yourself, I think for you. Like, what the? This is not a plantation, bro. And they want us to stay on this fucking plantation. Burn this shit to the ground and head for the exit, bro. I'm done.
Okay.
Okay, so
I kind of just want to get back to the topic at hand, because this is the topic that I want to talk about, which is the predatory women and black boys.
well, we already see that, right? We already see that they don't highlight how these teenagers in high school and these are having sex with these teachers, and they're not embellishing. They're not going in on it and talking about how fucked up it is. What you hear is this person did this. They don't talk about the condition of the kid, and then they talk about whether that person is going to get sentenced, and then they talk about what sentence the person got, and and that's it. And then it's water under the bridge, right? They don't highlight the shit though, like they do in reverse. You get what I mean? There was I think it was in the Man Not.
I got you.
Where a 30-year-old teacher had a child by it was a 30-year-old teacher or a 34-year-old teacher that had a kid by a 15, 16-year-old high school student, and the kid has to pay her child support.
What?
He has to pay her child. Yes, absolutely.
That happened. That happened.
Yes, absolutely. And people aren't talking about that. Do you get what I mean? They're not talking about this 30-year-old black woman that was the baby mother of a 16-year-old, and she shot and killed him. They don't highlight this stuff. Do you get what I mean? They need to understand. We see what's going on here. That guy that talked last time, that just got off here, as far as burning it down, it's going to burn itself down. We don't have to burn this down. When we talked about Steve Boogie, black men improving themselves, improve yourselves means you have to avoid the obstacles. You have to learn how to get around obstacles. And right now, the mindset of the typical average BW is an obstacle. That's all I have.
All right, Joe, Sheed, and for the win.
And something else I've been noticing, like, cause I be on like Instagram and stuff a lot too. I guess it's like a Generation Z thing or whatever, like addicted to internet or whatever. But yeah, this, me and my girl was talking about this. I want to say a couple of days ago. I'm starting to notice women starting to over sexualize the stuff they do with it. Like, you shouldn't do nothing sexual with your kid in the first place, but I'm starting to see like mamas on social media kissing their sons in the mouth and taking pictures of them half naked and all this, twerking on them and all that. Like, these are infants. I seen a post where a mama said when her son turned 13, she gonna let him handle his business with her instead of getting an actual girlfriend. Like, we have to address the mental illness.
Whoa. Say that again.
Yep, it was a post. I can't remember the girl name. She was in the bathtub. Her little 3-year-old son was behind her. She said, "F all y'all bees. When my son turned 13, he gonna hit this from the back every week. He not gonna need a girlfriend. He gonna have me."
Nigga, see what the fuck I'm talking
And
about? This bullshit right here.
and I got a homeboy named DeAndre. Now me and him been playing. We been homeboys since I want to say about 10 years old. Man, his mom had added me on Instagram, or whatever. We follow each other. All she talk about is him. I love my son. I love my son. Blah 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 blah. Now that's understandable. Any parent to be proud of their kid, but it get to a point where I love my son. Like you saying it a little too much. Like she only got pictures of him and her on there. Like I say, he the homeboy, so I never talk down on him. But it's like the lady been single for like 10 years. You turn it, and then my friend Dre, like when we be talking, he always talk about, oh, I gotta help her with the bills and all this. You turning your son into like a boyfriend, but without calling him your boyfriend. Like that's something like all this like young black. Like I was told the same thing with my mom. Oh, you the man of the house. You got to do this. Like a black kid never, a black man, a young man, he never get to be a kid. It's always you got to do this responsibility because either your dad not here, your dad ain't this, blah blah blah. You never give kids the chance to be a kid, and it's just all this fuckery has been normalized. How could you as a mother feel okay saying that about your, when my son turns 13, he gonna do this to me? Like even if you trying to be funny, what is wrong with you to say something like that? Like, you know what I mean? And the one girl that posted that picture of her son that took that picture, I had commented on. I'm like, bro, I said, you a sick ass lady. You got your little 5-year-old son taking a picture of you with no clothes, down to no clothes, with a towel on, bro. That's your son. That's my son. Do what I want. And the comments, you can't tell a mother what to do with her son. How dare you? Blah blah blah. Just because she does that doesn't mean she's a good mother. I said, okay, so that means if I go to the store and rob somebody, I said, with that logic, that means I'm not a robber. It's just the mental ill. Then when I said, where is dad at? You know what she told me? I'm never gonna let his dad go with him. He's with the bitch I don't like. I said that right there, for most of these single mothers, there's no hope for y'all. Y'all motherfuckers is done. And like bro said earlier, I'm 21. I'm getting my shit together. I would never, ever, ever. If you a single mama, I'm never taking you serious. Like I'm sorry. Like you just gonna be good to knock down and be gone. Like real talk. Like that's all y'all good for. And all these dudes on this panel, they're trying to help y'all. Yet the first thing y'all motherfuckers say when the mother try to help you, I don't have to listen to you. Y'all hate men so much that y'all don't want to even adhere to the fact that what they tell you is the truth. If they like this, something else that never get talked about. Y'all act like y'all accidentally have kids, bro. I've been having sex since I've been 15 years old. It's no excuse for why. Oh, bruh, it was so good. I just no, bro. You just if you're not in control of your phallus, bro, you are a weak ass dude, bro. And for the girls that say, "Oh, I didn't think he wasn't gonna be around," look, I have evidence for everything I be saying. I had made a post saying what because this how I be getting these girls to talk that dumb shit. So you got to make them not feel ashamed of what they talk about. I made a post that said, ladies, how old was y'all when y'all got with y'all first thug? First thing they say, I was 13, I was 14, I was 15. I'm like, damn. What? So I asked one girl, her name Curl. I said,
just wrap it up a little bit. I didn't get cheat in.
Okay. I said, you start talking to thugs at 13? Yeah, I was 13. He was 34 years old. I said, where was your mom at? Oh, she didn't know. She was the one who introduced me to him. I was just like, man, these hoes is just, they embrace fuckery. But that's all I wanted to say.
All right, go ahead, cheat, and then for the win.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you got to look at it like this. When it comes down to it, a lot of these women train their boys to be certain ways. Just like you said, you'll have to step up and have that responsibility of being the man of the house when that man isn't there. You know, that's why you have a lot of women dress their kids a certain way, put their kids in the limelight saying, oh, you got to step up. Prime example, they had an old show, The Wire, where the little boy, you know, his dad went to jail. He was a big drug kingpin. And in return, the little boy had to step up and be the man in the house. The mom bought him all these school clothes. And he's like, oh, mom, you did so good for me. When it turned around, she was like, oh, boy, you got to go get this pack. Got to go sell this pack, boy. No, go talk to such. He know your daddy. He can put you on the street, make you some money. You know, they try to provide their little boys to fill in that gap. And sometimes they fill in that gap more than one way. You know, when it comes down to it, hey, if no man don't want me because I got all these kids, look like you got to step up to the plate. And that goes back into what Art was saying, how you have a lot of these guys become victims of their parents, the way they live their life. You know, R. Kelly felt that struggle. His sister, she probably was attractive whenever I never seen her. She got to the point where she had her brothers mess around because she couldn't go out there and get it. You know, her sexual attraction was arousing and nobody would take the initiative to try to holler at her. She was like, fuck it, I'm gonna make these little motherfuckers in the house fuck with me. And they better not say nothing. And you know, that's how we was always put into that situation to where we don't have no options and no way out. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down.
Hello? She, you there? Okay, must have borged out. Go ahead for the win.
No, I'm gonna just say one thing too. One thing I will say is the fact that like since you got all of this going on, right? And my thing is I'm on a mission to break all of these, dysfunctional fucking patterns because the fact that you got women on social media having this, I think it's called an Oedipus effect. I forgot what it's called, but technically replacing the father with the son, and it's like nobody seems to talk about this stuff. And I remember as a kid, I'm kind of like I felt that, but I didn't necessarily, pay attention to it. But it's a very uncomfortable feeling. So growing up, I'm seeing this. Nobody says anything about this, and the Black community, man, like I can't put words into it. All I'm gonna say is I'm not going down the same route. It's a shame that we even have to speak about this. The hypocrisy of our women, what they do every day. Like we told y'all for 30, 40, 50 years what y'all been doing. So I'm not dealing with people who don't want to listen, who don't want to build and get back on track. So all this extra nonsense, and they blame white supremacy, they blame the younger generation, they blame all this other stuff but themselves. Not even understanding they got that stuff from you, because you were too ignorant and belligerent to tell them like, yo, don't do that, don't go that route. Yet you tell them, nah, go on the street and go sell some kilos and shit. That's what you tell them, and then you turn around and complain about whether a real man that you're trying to quote unquote build a real man like he's a fucking Build-A-Bear or something. Like that's not how this crap works. Then you get 40, 50 years old, right? Now you got all this quote unquote wisdom. And really, it should be common sense. Black men in general are very undeveloped mentally. This is stats I'm speaking about. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Long story short, man, just we got to start over, quote unquote. We got to start over. It's time. Is only a small percentage of brothers are really gonna get this. The majority of the community is gonna burn down itself, like the older brother said. So.
All right. I think we're gonna go for about 10 more minutes. So go ahead. Let's say Joe, Meech, and Sheed.
Another thing too, like sometimes when I'm not in school and stuff like that or at work, I do this. It's like a big brother, big sister program. It's only on the weekends or whatever. But some of the stuff, some of them little dudes be telling me, it be fucked up. Like I ain't gonna say the little dude name or whatever, but man, he 11 years old. We was talking, and I said, bro, what you be doing like when you not here or whatever? This that. I said, like, when you be at home, like, what you do for fun to keep you occupied and stuff like that? He was, I go outside sometimes. I say, you got a lot of friends? So he was, not really, but I got a couple of them. So I said, like, is your dad around, stuff like that? Of course he said no. But I said, well, do you and your mom do stuff sometimes? Like, I guess go to the park with it. Like, do she take you place? He was, nah, my mom, she just usually send me to the store with her card or whatever, and just tell me to go get snacks and stuff like that. And so I had asked him, I said, so do you actually eat like, because dude, real skin, I said, do you eat like good home cooked meals and stuff? He's like, nah, it's usually just like stuff I could put in the microwave myself and all. I said, where your mama be at when you like be at the house, when you be there sometimes? He said, my mom be gone sometimes. She just tell for strangers and just watch TV. Man, I got so mad, bro. I got so mad. Like, this is the type of stuff some of these little dudes is growing up in. That you know what I mean? That's neglect. That's child neglect. You just a 10-year-old, you say, don't open the door, watch TV till I come back. I said, how long she be staying gone? She come back like when I wake up in the morning. Like this, man, it's
Unfortunately, that's
disgusting.
true. Unfortunately, that's true. All right.
And
Meech,
I'm
and
gonna say
then
one more thing. My bad.
no. If you guys want to go ahead and say your one thing, and then Meech.
All right. My girl was working at a daycare for the summer, and she was telling me, she said most of them women use that daycare as like a drop off for their kids, like to where they be drop them off at 6 o'clock in the morning, don't come get them till 6 o'clock at night. Like they don't even, they just really wake up, feed the kids, come get them, feed them, and that's it. They don't even actually have time to be a parent because they go on doing whatever they want to do. But that's all.
Yeah, that's true too. Go ahead, Meech.
Okay, so you know what we're hearing here on this panel. Most of this stuff isn't really even a surprise to us, right? Uh, and that's sad. You know, people should, especially people who are listening, you should be shocked when you're no longer shocked. When things that are ridiculous no longer surprise you, you have to ask yourself what sort of environment you're in. The fact that a lady could get on Instagram talking about she's going to have sex with her son, and at an underage, she's going to have sex with her son when he's underage, and she didn't get flamed for that, tells you the day and time that you're in, right? There's something I always say, Donald Trump is a symptom. I don't get mad at Trump because Trump is a symptom. He couldn't be where he is doing what he does and getting away with it if it wasn't for who? His supporters. If it wasn't for people letting it go. And black women have to check black women. The only thing black men can do, this is how we check them, is literally in the game of chess, sort of checking. I'm going to make this move. What move will you make next? What are your other options? Leaving it to the options outside of the move that you make, right? Right now, we're seeing an era where the sexual hypersexualization of black men and sexual victimization of black men isn't even a big deal. They're talking about it there was a time where if a dude said something about a 12 or 13-year-old girl, and it would likely happen today, but this has been for a long time, and it was taken a certain way, people would be out like, hold on, player, we don't like the way you said that, right? Well, now they talk like this, nobody says anything about it, and then they're at least pretending to be upset at the thought of their sons and they're being sexually victimized. Right now, we're dealing with Chris is really what it is, right? People don't want to call it out like that because we're so used to it, right? We've been living in the boiling. We've been living in this boiling water, so we don't understand that it's boiling. But right now, this is poison, and if it's real simple. Either A, they're gonna have to get their shit together, or B, we got to do what we got to do. Like what the guy said about with C Boogie earlier. Look, when you improve yourself, that means you get rid of the bullshit in your life. Now, when you call out their bullshit and they don't want to change it, then that's on them. We're not going to lock you in basements or cellars and force you to do anything, but we can't be in it because I certainly wouldn't want my child to be with any woman of that, and not just a woman who would do that. I wouldn't want my child to be with a woman who wouldn't go all in on that woman. Any woman who would sit by and be silent while that happens is just as guilty, right? You don't have to rape a woman if you sit there and watch it happen, or you walk by and don't even call the police. Well, there's some guilt in there for you as far as doing your part to keep society sane, to keep a moral society. And right now, what we're seeing is a very large number of their group not doing their part to keep a moral society. And really, it all comes down to main meals and then sweets. They've been living on sweets for a long damn time, man, and they're addicted to it. They will not give it up. I'm done.
All right, Sheed, go ahead, man. Sheed, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, go
I was
ahead,
on
man.
pause. I'm out on mute. But that's just like with that Just Nietzsche, where she took the picture of her son butt naked and they were taking pictures together. Everybody had a field day, from Corey Holcomb, all the comedians roast her because she's a comedian. But at the end of the day, like, how could you feel there's nothing wrong with you getting butt naked, having your son butt naked, riding you between your legs, and both of y'all naked with the same shoes on? You know, they think that's cute. Oh, me and my son got the same shoes. We looked. What type of cute is that? You actually introducing your son to this pedophilia type stuff by showing him it's acceptable to feel this way with your mama. When that boy grows up, nobody knows what type of struggle he's gonna have sitting there remembering or looking at these pictures like, damn, she did this to me. All his friends, because one thing is, when you post stuff on the internet, it don't go away. You know, you might hide it a little bit, but it always come back to you. Crazy these black women are doing right now. And you know, that was my biggest thing. Like, me finding a woman that was more suitable to raise my kids and the stuff like that. And you know, me and my wife, we talk about stuff. Don't get it twisted. Nothing is never perfect. Things can always go astray the way people live their life. You know, if women follow this whole Instagram Hollywood life, they can change up in a minute. So you might marry the perfect woman, and in the end, she might turn around and be a hell raiser. But you gotta always understand, the women that you gotta always put the nail to the head. I mean, put the hammer to the nail. You gotta always stay on top of them, see what they looking at, see how they're talking, because the way they come at you shows the change of what they're doing. So when they start changing and moving different, you got to know how to govern yourself accordingly. Because other than that, man, like the new generation say, you're gonna be lost in the sauce.
Yeah, that's true. All right. I think this is probably a good time to wrap it up then, because I gotta go somewhere I gotta go somewhere and come back, and I need to get ready for my stream for tonight, because I'm gonna try to start a little bit early today instead of starting at 11:30. But
All right, we'll take it easy.
But I'm gonna say one thing on this subject, and then I'm gonna end the stream. We know we have a problem with some of these women in our community where they're being predatory to our boys. We have a lot of these women that are looking at their sons as husbands. We're looking at some of these women in our community that are being predators in our own families. Your aunts sleeping with their nephews. The aunt's friends sexually abusing these little boys or these teenage boys, taking advantage of them. This is a problem that has been swept under the rug in the black community, because we always heard about black men, even with the whole case of R. Kelly. Yes, R. Kelly has been allegedly done a lot of things to women, but in his book, he noted that his sister was the one that raped him at the age of 8, allegedly raped him at the age of 8, and his brother. So there is a beginning to some stuff. Even D. Ray Davis, which I had said that his mother's friends sexually abused him at the age of 8, and he got laughed at. And this is what Thomas Curry has said, is that, you know, black men can never be seen as victims, because in this society, black men are the perpetrators of this toxic masculinity they're trying to push on us, which they always have pushed on us. And it needs to be known that black men are being abused. Black boys are being abused by these women. And we need, as a society, needs to hold these women accountable. And we need to start speaking on this, because it's fucking sad. We just heard somebody from the not even in Jamaica, where he was saying all the stuff that was going on in there, where these older women were getting these teenage boys and sleeping with them. We just had someone else talking about these women giving these teenage boys gifts on this platform and sleeping with these boys. I just seen today where a woman was tongue kissing her daughter in the mouth. Her like maybe 2-year-old daughter at the very least in the mouth. And I remember a couple of years ago I saw like an older woman that was in her like 40s or 50s saying that she was sleeping with her 16 or 17-year-old daughter, and they were kissing on the video. You know, this stuff is real. It's sick as hell, but this stuff is real, and we need to call it out. We need to make it known, because if we don't, it's going to keep going on. And the black community needs to reset itself. And if it don't, then maybe it does need to burn.
That is going to be the reset.
Well, I was meant maybe a soft reset, but a hard reset is to be burned to the ground.
Yeah. Well, we've been trying that soft reset for a long time. I hope we can. I hope I'm wrong. Understand this. I hope I am absolutely wrong. Do you get what I mean? But I also hope I'm wrong that if I play in traffic, I'm likely to get hit, or if I play with fire, I'm likely to get burned. I hope I'm wrong and I never get burned or I never get hit playing in traffic.
Yeah.
It's not looking good, man.
Yeah. But thanks for everybody coming.
Thanks for the stream though, man. You take it easy.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for everybody in the chat that's coming through. Like the stream, share it, subscribe to the channel. I will be doing my Saturday hangout tonight at around 10:30, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But other than that, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.